The hour was brought to you by the new Doritos Zinger from KFC. The delicious combination of KFC's hot and spicy Zinger and Doritos. Also available in Barbecue Zinger, limited time only. KFC Doritos Zinger, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Ready to tackle that building project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
nationwide time 5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robian Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, Claudette Thompson is Jamaica's new DPP.
Indicom is reporting there's been a 500% increase in police killings during planned operations over the last 5 years.
And Indicom is also raising an alarm about the practice of police interfering with CCTV cameras.
2 alleged suspects in Linstead mass murder cut down by the police.
Blood-stained drapes from Noel Maitland's apartment shown to the jury.
In news from the rest of the world, U.S. President Donald Trump has suspended all diplomatic contact with Venezuela.
And his Justice Department has indicted the New York Attorney General.
In headline sports, West Indies to make at least one change for second test against India tonight in Delhi.
And later in our broadcast, in the cover story at 5:35, according to a special investigative report by Indicom, November last year was the last time fewer than 20 people were killed in a month by the police. We'll hear from Assistant Commissioner at Indicom, Hamish Campbell.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, given the recent silence of civil society groups on national issues, do you think they have taken a backseat in public affairs? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio, and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90 FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, the Labor and Social Security Minister, Pernell Charles Jr., says his ministry will be expanding training in assistive technology for persons with disabilities. He'll join us.
And at 8, it's Jamaican Dads with Dennis Brooks, Garth Williams, Marlon Campbell, and Floyd Green.
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90 FM, RevaNews.ai, and on the Reva News app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Thursday afternoon, it's Thursday, October 9, 2025.
The hour is brought to you by the new Doritos Zinger from KFC. The delicious combination of KFC's hot and spicy Zinger and Doritos. Also available in Barbecue Zinger, limited time only. KFC Doritos Zinger, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. Claudette Thompson has been appointed Jamaica's new Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP. She becomes only the second woman to hold the country's top prosecutorial post, succeeding Paula Llewellyn. Her appointment takes effect on October 13. The Office of the Services Commission, in a letter dated October 7, informed the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution of Thompson's appointment. Thompson, who currently serves as Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, has acted as DPP on at least 3 occasions during Llewellyn's tenure, giving her extensive experience in leading the prosecutorial arm of the state. She is the country's current acting DPP.
The Independent Commission of Investigations is alarmed by the more than 500% increase in police killings during planned police operations over the last 5 years. Indicom Commissioner Hugh Faulkner gave an update on the climbing number of fatalities at a quarterly media briefing on Thursday. He noted that as of 2025, the majority of fatal shootings took place during planned police operations. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
According to Indicom, in 2019, only 12% of deaths by the security forces occurred during planned police operations. This has ballooned to 52% as of 2025. Deputy Commissioner of Indicom, Hamish Campbell, also says there's been a more than 500% increase in deaths during these operations over the last 5 years.
In 2019, the number of persons killed during a planned operation was the lowest at 10 people. And in 2021, planned operation fatalities was just 9% of total fatalities when 11 men were killed. However, since 2022, as we have seen this marked and we consider a disquieting increase in fatal shootings occurring during a planned operation. And from a low of 11 persons fatally wounded in 2021, it reached in 2024 76 people killed, which represented a 591% increase in deaths from planned operations. This year, right up to the 30th September, 120 people have been now fatally wounded during planned operations. And the increase since 2021 with 11 amounts to 990% increase.
The Deputy Commissioner also raised concerns over the methods used by the police during these operations. He says they often result in conflicting accounts between witnesses and the police.
Officers' accounts are almost identical and simply put. Officers approached the property. Upon calling out, officers heard shuffling from inside a room. Upon directly entering the room or house, a man is apparently waiting inside a single room with a weapon drawn, which is either then pointed or reportedly fired at the officers. The citizen accusation, in some cases, is that a firearm was planted by the JCF. Where there are witnesses, they report that there was no weapon in the house, nor did the deceased produce or show any firearm prior to the police arrival. It is recognised that some witnesses may indeed be lying and their testimony quite incorrect, but without independent evidence, primarily body-worn cameras, it becomes very difficult to discern the truth of these accounts.
The Indicom Deputy Commissioner stressed the importance of prioritizing the use of body-worn cameras during planned police operations. But Indicom's Commissioner Hugh Faulkner alleges that the JCF continues to resist the call.
The seemingly entrenched position of the High Command to maintain the BWC distribution status, in other words, how body-worn cameras are distributed, and that what we term entrenched position to maintain that status quo, we do not find agreement with that. We believe whatever body-worn cameras are in the possession of the JCF, a priority area of distribution must be police planned operations.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, there's been an increase in the removal and destruction of private CCTV equipment from premises where a police fatal shooting occurred. Mr. Campbell says CCTV interference as a practice in police operations became more noticeable since November last year.
The Commission has previously elevated this issue with the JCF High Command at the beginning of the year and now reports on the matter more formally in this report to Parliament. CCTV interference is a practice which has become more noticeable since a fatal shooting event in November 24, where significant CCTV evidence came to the fore during one of the Commission's investigations. In some planned operations, witness testimony has demonstrated quite clearly that CCTV equipment has been damaged, removed or destroyed, and evidence of prior existence and removal of the CCTV was established in 5 such cases, which occurred 2 in March and September 24 and 3 recently in January, June and September of this year.
Indicom added that the search and removal of CCTV equipment by the police is not confined to shooting incidents. It says the action is an observable practice, particularly in search operations. According to Indicom, in some cases the CCTV footage records the police destroying the equipment. Mr. Campbell says such patterns of behavior are not conducive to a law enforcement agency.
This pattern of behavior is neither acceptable nor conducive to law enforcement agency. Not only does it further alienate disenfranchised communities, causing mistrust, but we consider it reinforces the wider perception that if CCTV recording equipment is treated in such an improper manner by officers, then the use of body-worn cameras is unlikely to be welcomed or adopted by officers as an independent accounting mechanism.
Hamish Campbell, Assistant Commissioner of Indicom. The removal of CCTV cameras came to public attention in September following the police killing of 22-year-old Jamar Farquharson in Cherry Tree Lane in Clarendon. In that incident, the police were captured removing cameras from Jamar's house during a search of the premises. Jamar was fatally shot in his bedroom during that operation.
2 men believed to be suspects in the mass shooting in Linstead St. Catherine on Sunday have been killed by the police. The men were cut down in separate incidents on Thursday. Khalesia Wright reports.
On Sunday, 5 people were murdered after armed men dressed in police attire approached a group of people at a shop in the community and opened gunfire. At least 4 others were injured in the mass shooting. The police are now reporting that arising from their investigations into the mass murder, 2 suspects are dead. They were killed in separate incidents on Thursday. The first incident occurred sometime after 5 a.m. when a joint police-military team conducted an intelligence-led operation at Jewel's Estate in Bog Walk, St. Catherine. It's understood that upon arriving at the location, the team was confronted by an armed man who pointed his rifle in the direction of the officers. The lawmen opened fire and the man was later pronounced dead. Thereafter, an M16 rifle along with a magazine and ammunition were seized. Later in the morning, a second suspect was cut down in Grange Lane, St. Catherine. The police reportedly attempted to stop a vehicle in which several men were traveling. It's reported the men alighted from the vehicle and opened gunfire at the police. The lawmen reportedly returned fire. Thereafter, a man was found suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to the Spanish Town Hospital where he was pronounced dead. A pistol was seized from the man's body. The 2 incidents have been reported to the Independent Commission of Investigations INDECOM. The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF is urging members of the public to share information that can assist in the investigation of these and other incidents. It says persons may contact Crime Stop at 311, the NIB tip line at 811, or the nearest police station. Khaleesi Wright for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, head of the Area 5 Police, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips, says more operations will be conducted as the investigation into the mass shooting continues.
I just want to say that the investigations into what took place in Commodore is ongoing and there are still information that I cannot divulge. But just to say that these 2 incidents are connected to that investigation, and we will have several other operations, with the intent to try and arrest some of these persons who are involved in that gruesome and awful incident in Commodore.
The ACP is urging the public to cooperate with the police.
I just want to speak to the community, especially in the Linseed area. You might see increased police actions inside there, that we want to ensure continued support in that community, and it might affect several other communities within the same capital space. But just rest assured that the JCF will continue its investigation, and we appeal for the continued support of the public during this time as we see justice for the victims.
ACP Christopher Phillips, head of the Area 5 Police.
The police are once again appealing for the father of 13-year-old Shantina Sargent to turn himself in. Lawrence Sargent has not been seen since Shantina's partially burnt body was found behind her home in Balliston, Clarendon on Monday. The police have since named Sargent as a person of interest in the investigation of her death. Head of the Manchester Police Superintendent Kerry Duncan made the appeal at Thursday's sitting of the Manchester Municipal Corporation.
Our detectives are working assiduously to bring some level of closure to what is happening. And I want to take this appeal to say that persons, anybody here or listening, and can implore the young lady's father, Mr. Lawrence Sargent. He is somebody we believe can help us in advancing our investigation. So we're asking him just please to make contact with us at the Christiana Police Station or at the Mandeville Police Station.
Superintendent Duncan says the police is well advanced in their investigations, but he says more can be achieved with the help of Shantina's father.
The investigation is in a very, very early stage, although we have been gathering a lot of and depending heavily right now on forensic evidence, and a lot of it, I might add. So not much more to say on that, but we are well advanced in our investigation, but it can take us a little bit further if we get to speak to our father.
Superintendent Kerry Duncan, head of the Manchester Police.
You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. We'll have more after these.
Annual eye examinations not only assess your vision but may be life-saving. Eye tests may detect serious health issues that go beyond your vision. Call IQ Optical to schedule your comprehensive eye test today.
The time by IQ Optical is...
It's 14 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial offers air purification solutions with triple filtration and unique auto-sensing capabilities that neutralizes malodor and replaces it with clean air. Call Rentokil Initial at 926-4236 for more details.
The temperature by Rentokil is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 30 out west in Montego Bay.
Mysterious, magical, mesmerizing. Wouldn't you like to experience the natural beauty of the Northern Lights? You could be the lucky one if you use your cards right. Spend with your Sagicor Bank credit card from September 29 to November 13, 2025, and you could win an all-inclusive cruise vacation for two along the Norwegian coast to see the Northern Lights. Chase the Northern Lights with your Sagicor Bank credit card. The more you spend it, the closer you are to your dream adventure. Enjoy the best rewards ever. Conditions apply. Authorized by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
Continuing the news, the brown drapes that tested positive for traces of blood in the apartment of murder-accused Noel Maitland were displayed in the Supreme Court today. A government forensic analyst testified how the items were packaged and stored. Robin Williams reports.
Constable Noel Maitland, dressed in a grey suit with a white shirt and black dress shoes, looked on intently from the dock as the government forensic analyst identified the items and explained her findings. The drapes, which were marked as exhibits, showed several circled areas where blood was detected. The prosecutor asked the witness to indicate the specific sections, and she pointed out more than 6 marked areas. She explained that areas testing positive for blood were highlighted in yellow, while those that tested negative were labeled KM negative. During the presentation, Maitland was seen taking notes with a pen and paper and later spoke briefly with his attorney. A cream-colored throw pillow cover that also tested positive for human blood was shown in court. The forensic analyst testified that while not every stain on an exhibit is individually confirmed, DNA testing was conducted on samples that returned positive results. Maitland is on trial in the Supreme Court for the 2022 disappearance and suspected murder of his girlfriend, social media personality Donnelly Donaldson. The trial is scheduled to resume on Monday at 10 a.m. Robian Williams for Nationwide News. The High Court judge presiding over the lawsuit filed by Senior Superintendent Wayne Cameron has recused herself from the case. Justice Natalie Hart-Hines recused herself on Wednesday. The lawsuit contests a directive from Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake that the chairmanship of the Police Officers Association, POA, be vacated. Shalois Michael reports.
The application to have Justice Hart-Hines recuse herself was filed by Dr. Blake's lead attorney, King's Counsel Peter Champagny. Wednesday's hearing was not open to the public. The court was scheduled to hear an application by SSP Cameron's attorney for leave to seek judicial review of Dr. Blake's decision to remove him as a chairman of the POA. Justice Hart-Hines' recusal now pushes that hearing to October 29. The row between SSP Cameron and Dr. Blake was first made public last month. In a statement on September 8, the police high command noted that SSP Cameron has been removed as a chairman of the POA. It said SSP Cameron will no longer be granted audience with the high command and is not permitted to represent the JCF outside of official duties. But SSP Cameron alleges that the order came after he had filed a grievance report earlier in January. Hart-Hines last month had granted an interim injunction which restrained Commissioner Blake from removing SSP Cameron as a POA chairman. That injunction remains in effect. The POA is the union representing senior members of the JCF. Cameron was first elected chairman in 2019 and re-elected in 2022. Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
The youth arm of the governing Jamaica Labour Party, JLP Young Jamaica, is dismissing recent concerns raised by the opposition PNP about the leaking of Integrity Commission reports. On Tuesday, the PNP raised concerns about what it says is a continued pattern of reports from the anti-corruption body being leaked to the media before being tabled in the parliament. But Young Jamaica says it recalls that PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell and former General Secretary Julian Robinson both used political platforms last year to predict the tabling of reports. It says both men alleged that the tabling would have tarnished the government's standings and forced the calling of a general election. Young Jamaica is claiming senior members of the PNP repeatedly appeared to have prior knowledge of the contents of reports to be tabled by the Commission. According to Young Jamaica, PNP members dropped several hints last year at a PNP Women's Conference, indicating it had knowledge of a report concerning the Prime Minister. It says none of the party's spokespersons expressed concern about PNP politicians having prior knowledge of the contents. As such, Young Jamaica says the views of the PNP are hypocritical. It has called on the PNP spokespersons to desist from their continued attacks on the media.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute.
U.S. President Donald Trump has reportedly suspended all diplomatic contact with Venezuela as the U.S. military weighs an expansion of its so-called war on cartels. According to a report in the New York Times, Trump phoned his special envoy and ordered him to end all talks with Caracas. The instruction followed a meeting with top military officials on Thursday. U.S. officials told the paper that the move reflects Trump's growing frustration with what he sees as President Nicolas Maduro's refusal to give up power voluntarily. Trump is also reportedly angry at Venezuela's repeated rejection of Washington's drug trafficking allegations against Caracas.
The New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted in federal court as President Donald Trump's Justice Department continues to pursue charges against his political opponents. The indictment was first reported by CNN. James has been under investigation since May over a 2023 mortgage she took out to help her niece buy a home. The charges come as Trump continues to call for his enemies to be prosecuted in court. Former FBI Director James Comey pleaded not guilty on Wednesday to allegedly making a false statement in a congressional proceeding. The Justice Department has also opened investigations into former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton, California Democratic Senator Adam Schiff, and others. James's relationship with Trump has been adversarial for years as she campaigned on promises to investigate him and ultimately won a $300 million civil fraud case against him. During the 11-week trial, Trump's anger towards her was palpable. He railed against her from the witness stand, describing her as a political hack. She often punched back outside the courtroom, on social media, and in video statements.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, Claudette Thompson is Jamaica's new Director of Public Prosecutions.
Indicom is reporting there's been a 500% increase in police killings during planned operations over the last 5 years.
And it's raising an alarm about the practice of police interfering with CCTV cameras.
2 alleged suspects in Linstead mass murder cut down by the police.
I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robeanne Williams.
Listeners, you can find the news on our website at rivernews.ai and on the River News app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6.
Doritos and KFC, cheesy, delicious, crunchy. New collaboration, run the country. Doritos Zinger, hot and spicy. Doritos nacho cheese chips, cheddar cheese sauce. We not leave it. KFC with the extra crunch. The new Doritos Zinger, I want for lunch. The new KFC Doritos Zinger, the delicious combination of KFC's hot and spicy zinger and the irresistible flavor of Doritos. Available for a limited time. KFC and Doritos, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. The West Indies could make one change to the 11 for the second test against India in Delhi, starting at 11 o'clock tonight, Jamaica time. Left-arm pacer Jediah Blades is expected to come in for Johan Lane as the Caribbean men look to level the series following their crushing innings and 140-run defeat inside 3 days of the first test in Ahmedabad. India is poised to go in with an unchanged 11. The omen is good and bad in equal measure for the West Indies, as while India has not lost a test match in Delhi to any team in 38 years, the Windies were the last team to do it in November of 1987. Captain Ruston Chase remains positive the team will raise its level above what we saw in Ahmedabad. Chase remains optimistic about the team's chances heading into the decider.
It's on right now, but it has to change at some point. And the change can start from now, but it starts with the belief and the mindset of each and every player, and just to keep motivating the guys that we can still play some positive cricket and change around our downfall at the moment.
Chase is also calling on the top order batting to show more application and resilience, especially against India's potent pace attack and crafty spinners.
Continuously playing quality first-class cricket and so on, just that know-how of going up there and facing good attacks for longer periods, and obviously trying to improve on faults that you may have picked up early on in your career. Obviously, when you first start, no one really knows you, and then obviously you play a couple of games, and then people obviously see your weaknesses and try to exploit them. So it's just for the players to just, we try to improve on those weaknesses from as early as possible.
West Indies Test captain Ruston Chase. Delhi is likely to be a typical Indian track, good for batting on the first 2 and a bit days before bringing the spinners into the game. The drop in temperature should make it difficult for the pitch to break up suddenly. The week of the lead up to the test has brought some rain, but the test is not likely to be affected. As West Indies prepare to face India in that second test, veteran cricket commentator Joseph Reds Pereira has urged the regional side to make several key changes in a bid to bounce back from the crushing first test defeat. India currently lead the series 1-0 after the innings and 140-run defeat. In the opener, with the visitors' performance under heavy scrutiny, Pereira believes the time has come for bold decisions and a refreshed approach.
Well, I want to suggest they consider 2 changes. Imlach coming into the middle order. He can keep, or hope he can keep, the gloves. It will strengthen the middle order. Gary Pear will be left out, with Warwick playing as the main backup spinner along with Chase. And Phillip comes in for Lane. This will give the batting more depth and the bowling more experience. Phillip has had a couple of test matches, and he has played on the English County Championship. If the West Indies win the toss, I hope they don't do as they did in the first innings, elected to bat on the opening day. Conditions will be cool, I'm told, and the batting condition indicating that it will be quite good.
That's Joseph Reds Pereira. Mr. Leonard Seville in the YouTube space, please be nice to the West Indies, sir. Nadine de Klerk cracked a career best 84 not out as South Africa completed the 5th highest successful chase in women's World Cup history to beat host India by 3 wickets in Visakhapatnam on Thursday. De Klerk's whirlwind knock came off 53 balls with 8 fours and 5 sixes as the South Africans set 252 to win, reached the target with 7 balls to spare. Captain Laura Wuldacht, she weighed in with 70 and Claude Tyrone 49 for the South Africans, who were winning their second game at the tournament. India's 251 all-out was built around a stunning 94 of 77 balls from Risha Goss.
Right, is this long and far enough? She's done it so many times tonight. Backs away from the stumps, and South Africa make it 3 out of 3 in Cricket World Cup matches against India. And this may well be one of their best chases against this team. The Clark in that final partnership put on 39 runs out of the 41 runs in that last partnership.
The competition continues on Friday with Bangladesh meeting New Zealand, and the game is scheduled to start at 4:30 Jamaica time in the morning. Steve McLaren, head coach of the Jamaica national senior men's football team, is under no illusion as to the task awaiting the national team when they go into battle with Curacao for crucial World Cup qualifying points in Willemstad in a day's time. Heading into Friday's crucial Group B World Cup fixture, the Reggae Boys across 4 games played against Curacao. They have 2 victories, 1 drawn result, and a solitary defeat which came back in 2017. McLaren is expecting a tough game from the Curacao team.
Curacao are a very good team, and to do that we need your best players possible. But we've also added some younger players, younger talents. So the squad is a mixture, a bit more of a mixture than the last squad, more experience. But also we've got some young players who we want to blood into the national team, and whatever squad we pick, it's a strong squad.
Yeah, that's some Steve McLaren. And finally in sports at this time, Algeria are back at the FIFA World Cup finals for the first time since 2014. The North African country sealed their ticket to the game's showpiece on Thursday following a dominant 3-0 win over Somalia in their qualifying encounter at the Stade Olympique d'Iran. 5-time Premier League winner Riyad Mahrez scored twice for Algeria to become the 4th African country to book their place at the tournament to be hosted in the Americas.
Flicking it over the top, the chance for a header, that's the volley, they've taken the lead. Comes out Shabi, gets the ball over the top, and then far post, the chance for a shot, it's drilled in, a brilliant goal. There's the delivery, it's the header, it's goal number 3, of course it is, and it had to come from that man, Mohamed Amoura. Goal number 3, his second.
Uganda all but sealed second place in the group after seeing off Botswana 1-0. The 4 best second place teams across all 9 groups will enter a playoff to gain further spots. Brick Road, that's a nice one. You have me laughing, Brick Road. Very nice one. All right, that will lead for sports. We're going to be back with more at 6:05.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade. From Kingston to the world, from Montego Bay to new adventures, and from Ocherias to endless possibilities. Wherever you're headed, we will proudly take you there. Jamaica's airport, your global gateway. The temperature brought to you by the Airports Authority of Jamaica is
31 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 30 in the western city, Montego Bay.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. You know, those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and 23% of them are overweight or obese. This can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Let's protect our children's right to health with a policy for schools that prevents unhealthy food marketing and ensures access to nutritious foods. The time is now. Let's implement the National School Nutrition Policy. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
Doritos and KFC, cheesy, delicious, crunchy, new collaboration, run the country. Doritos Zinger, hot and spicy. Doritos nacho cheese chips, cheddar cheese sauce. We not leave it. KFC with the extra crunch. The new Doritos Zinger, I want for lunch. The new KFC Doritos Zinger, the delicious combination of KFC's hot and spicy zinger and the irresistible flavor of Doritos. Available for a limited time. KFC and Doritos, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Is your money idling when it could be thriving? With CIBC Caribbean's fixed deposit offering, you can take charge of your cash. With 50,000 Jamaican to start, choose terms from 30 days to 2 years. Lock in your funds and enjoy premium rates guaranteed to grow your wealth. Whether you're eyeing short or long-term gains, our fixed deposit account puts you firmly in control of your money. Now is the time to open a CIBC fixed deposit account and start earning more today. CIBC, ambitions made real.
MSME operators, the NWC MSME Amnesty is a lifeline. Grab it. Apply between September 1 and November 30, 2025. Visit nwcjamaica.com. Email us at customercare@nwc.com.jm. You can also visit any commercial office or dial 888-NWC. Get a 50% debt write-off on your small commercial account if you pay all other outstanding debts or sign a payment agreement to do so in 3 months. Apply today.
Are you ready for something mega? Come join us at Megamart Waterloo, 29 Upper Waterloo Road on Friday, October 10 from 3 to 5 p.m. We're bringing you the Mega Wheels 2 Grand Draw. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM with me, Robian and Pepita from 3 to 5 p.m. live from Megamart Waterloo. Come join amazing samplings from Megamart's co-sponsors while joining the celebration. The grand prize is a brand new 2025 Hyundai Tucson, and second and third place winners will enjoy monthly shopping sprees for a year. We're teaming up with Megamart to bring you non-stop excitement, surprise guests, giveaways, samplings, and all the Mega Wheels 2 energy. So don't just tune in. Come on, join in on the action. Live at Megamart Waterloo, Friday, October 10 from 3 to 5 p.m. It's the Mega Wheels 2 Grand Draw. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Megamart. Best value by far.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, Nationwide This Morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide at 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Cover Story is brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
Multilink. Access every time, everywhere I go. Multilink. 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use Multilink. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the Multilink logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multilink. 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my Multilink?
Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide at 5. It's time for the cover story. My name is Ricardo Brooks.
And my name is Sanjay Lewis. And for the cover story this afternoon, listeners,
so you're not going to ask me if I'm all right. You're not going to ask the listener if I'm good.
How are you, Mr. Brooks?
I'm doing all right, man.
And that's a very special welcome to all our listeners.
Good.
Oh, good. So let's jump into it, listeners. The Independent Commission of Investigations, they are alarmed by the more than 500% increase in police killings during planned police operations over the last 5 years. Indicom's Commissioner Hugh Faulkner gave an update on the climbing number of fatalities at their quarterly media briefing held on Thursday.
Now, he noted that as of this year, the majority of fatal shootings took place during planned police operations. According to Indicom, in 2019, only 12% of deaths by the security forces occurred during planned operations. This has now ballooned to 52% as of 2025. The Assistant Commissioner of Indicom, Hamish Campbell, is saying that there's been a more than 500% increase over the last 5 years.
And in the meantime, a special investigative report by Indicom says between January 1 and September 30 of 2025, 232 persons were killed by the security forces. This number is already 43 more than the 189 persons killed in 2024. Indicom says the total figure at the end of this year is projected to be between 270 and 300 persons.
This would represent an increase of between 43 and 59% above the figure at the end of 2024. Joining us now to discuss Indicom's Assistant Commissioner, Hamish Campbell. Good afternoon, Mr. Campbell.
Good afternoon, sir.
Let me start by asking you this, because one of the things I've been hearing from members of the public is, well, the truth is the police have gotten better at their job. They're getting better intelligence, and therefore they are going after suspects, and these people are challenging them. So there's going to be an expected uptick, an expected increase in fatal confrontations. How do you respond to that?
Well, that may, of course, be true, but we don't know whether the criminals and the gunmen they're seeking to arrest are challenging them. I think beyond all the statistics and numbers that we've put out in the report today is to try to determine what is the actual truth and accuracy of these accounts. And the report identifies a significant, nearly 1/3 of these operations in the last, years we've been looking at, where there's a contradiction to the argument that the criminals have suddenly become more emboldened, certainly in the last 24 months, and are now seeking to shoot their way out of confrontations with the police. That is what the real issue is about. And how do we determine, how does the Commission, identify the issue, which we feel we have done, and what are the recommendations from Indicom which may help in reducing the fatalities? And some of those have been repeated ad nauseum in relation to the consideration and recommendation of wearing body-worn cameras in these incidents, as well as a number of other features which we feel could assist in providing a more structured and strategic overview of these operations, which would reduce it. Because, as you just quoted from our report, back in 2019 and 2021, I don't know if the criminals were any less emboldened or not as brave as they are now. And you've only got to look at 20 years of fatal shootings and murders across Jamaica. And the numbers are far higher than they are now, and it fluctuates up and down. But I don't know whether the evidence could come from that they're suddenly more emboldened when there's actually other information which suggests a different policy and approach in the policing which was resulting in these deaths.
I'm going to allow you to go through some of those recommendations with our listeners, but I want to just stay on the body-worn cameras for a second, because the police commissioner, the High Command, recently announced that they are in the final stages of procuring 1,000. I think they said in the coming weeks they expect to have those cameras. And, so the question is, why would Indicom believe, having seen and heard the steps that the police, that they're taking to secure those cameras, why would you see the need now to again reiterate this?
Well, the issue is, and we recognise the effort of government of Jamaica and the funding that is put into the JCF and the work, considerable work from the JCF in trying to build up the infrastructure and bring in more cameras. But unless and until the cameras are put on the very units which are now contributing to over half of all fatalities, I don't know if that will necessarily help reduce the numbers. That's what we want. We want that transparency, and everyone should want the transparency in these events, because policing is about policing society and communities, and the considerable voice and concern and upset in what now half of all these shootings is that what they're being told and what we're being told is not accurate. And that's why everyone recognises the efforts done by the Commissioner of Police and his team to get more body-worn cameras. But if they're not put onto the teams which are engaged in these operations, that won't actually solve the problem. You can carry on putting them on the traffic department and the public safety and transport teams and the traffic department separately, but that they're not engaged in fatal shootings in anything like the way the organised operational teams are.
Is Indicom then trying to instruct or dictate to the police how they should carry out their operations? Because if Indicom is going to explain or demand or recommend how these cameras are deployed, aren't you then getting into the weeds of operations?
No, we're certainly not dictating, telling, instructing the JCF, and never have done. But we are, as an oversight body, oversight's not meant to be convenient. Parliament asked and wanted an independent oversight body to examine and oversee the very state function which has the powers it does. And so we are making recommendations, and on the evidence and material we have, just one of many avenues which might provide better reassurance to the public is to place the cameras on those officers who are going into these properties. Commissioner of Police is perfectly entitled to say no, and we can see that he does not wish to do that. So it's for others to then reflect on that and go, well, if that's what everyone wants and doesn't want to see any accountability, then almost so be it. But that's not something which the Indicom would then turn its hands up and go, oh, well, we are entitled to provide, as you recognise, oversight.
I'm going to use the same question that Ricardo put to you, but I'm going to slightly tweak the question. So if Indicom then is now suggesting how these cameras should be deployed and which units should wear them, doesn't that itself suggest a lack of confidence in the police to know which operations require that level of monitoring?
No, I don't think it does that at all. We're recommending that on the current numbers that they have, body-worn cameras that are in existence, and many more are coming in, 1,000, the Commissioner of Police mentioned shortly, and some more next year. And the current numbers, it would be, from our view, and we can't see a different way, is to redistribute some of the cameras to the fugitive apprehension teams, to the specialised operation teams, to those units which are engaged on a more regular, almost daily basis in relation to planned operations, where these fatalities are now occurring at a considerable number, to say over half of all fatal shootings this year. Yes. So you can see that the increase. And so what does one do about it? But if there was no complaint, if all the fatal shootings, there wasn't a single complaint, and we had, or even rather the other way around, if there was only one fatal shooting from a planned operation out of the 232, there would be less demand to go, actually, you need to be putting body-worn cameras on these teams that are doing the planned operations, because the response would be, well, out of all the ones, there's only one person killed during such an operation. But now,
the police would have access to that data, I'm sure, and the data that Indicom provides. And wouldn't it suggest then that it's a given that certain units would definitely get it, given the number of fatalities that particular unit may have committed?
It's a given in what? That they would be involved in fatal shootings?
No, it's a given that they would give those specific units the body-worn cameras first, given that they're limited because of the data that they have. So if you are suggesting to the police force that these are the units that they should give, it in essence suggesting a lack of confidence.
Well, is it a lack of confidence by us in the operation? Yeah, well, yes. I think that's fairly plain. I'm not sure that one has full confidence that every account provided by the JCF in these shootings is accurate. And as we've said in the report, one has to then go to the position that every single person, the citizen, the non-police witnesses, are lying. They've made up this from Montego Bay to Morant Bay. And for all these shootings, and the same account is provided by the forces of law against the citizens. And there is something, as we say, there's something probably inherently implausible that every single witness has made up their testimony or has given false testimony, and that what they say and what they witness is just a lie. Now, that, of course, everything is possible, and many things are impossible. That could be possible, but until we have some verification or independent view of it, it would be difficult to believe that every single account is correct. And move on from that is then you then look at some of these specific cases and the evidence that has been recovered, both from these shootings now and in the past, that one is left with some troubling concerns in relation to the accuracy of some of the police reports. And when we see there some of the officers' behaviour in relation to the discovery of CCTV in a scene, its removal, its dislodgement, its destruction, its taking out of the property, those are elements of within it. We're not looking through windows darkly, or that's a singular event, or that's a singular event. This is potentially a pattern and a practice being engaged in by officers in these operations. And that is why we say what we do say in terms of our recommendations.
Yeah, hold it there for us. We're talking to the Assistant Commissioner of Indicom. We're on the break. Soon come.
Protecting your personal data is a priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. We urge you to use the agency's official platforms to conduct your business. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
5:48.
Birdshot fried chicken always ready. Birdshot, original crispy. Birdshot, Cajun spicy. Birdshot, a barbecue. Birdshot, we are go a Birdshot.
The temperature brought to you by Birdshot Fried Chicken in Montego Bay and Ocho Rios is...
It's 30 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. It's also 30 in Ocho Rios.
Doritos and KFC, cheesy, delicious, crunchy. New collaboration, run the country. Doritos Zinger, hot and spicy. Doritos nacho cheese chips, cheddar cheese sauce. We not leave it. KFC with the extra crunch. The new Doritos Zinger, I want for lunch. The new KFC Doritos Zinger, the delicious combination of KFC's hot and spicy zinger and the irresistible flavor of Doritos. Available for a limited time. KFC and Doritos, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Mysterious, magical, mesmerizing. Wouldn't you like to experience the natural beauty of the Northern Lights? You could be the lucky one if you use your cards right. Spend with your Sagicor Bank credit card from September 29 to November 13, 2025, and you could win an all-inclusive cruise vacation for two along the Norwegian coast to see the Northern Lights. Chase the Northern Lights with your Sagicor Bank credit card. The more you spend it, the closer you are to your dream adventure. Enjoy the best rewards ever. Conditions apply. Authorized by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. We have with us the Assistant Commissioner of Indicom, Hamish Campbell. Indicom is raising the alarm. More than 500% increase in police killings during planned operations over the last 5 years. And the Commission is also concerned about the practice of police tampering with CCTV cameras. Assistant Commissioner, before I get to the matter of the cameras, so I understand you to be saying that the body-worn cameras would assist, and I think that most reasonable people would agree, would assist in bringing clarity to contested version of events. But of the matters that you have been able to investigate and bring to a close, have you seen any increase in terms of police who have used excessive or unlawful force?
Well, the numbers have shown that there's an increase in the use of force, whether it's unlawful or not in terms of any level of culpability for wrongdoing, whether it be discipline or criminal, is a separate matter, of course. And some officers in the last since the beginning of January 24, the Commissioner quoted some 47 officers have been charged with offences, but the greater majority of those relate to assaults, not murder. But I think 13 officers have been charged with murder in the last period from the 1st of January 24 through to 30th of September 25.
And is that an increase over the corresponding period or over the 5-year period?
Well, that'd be difficult to give you that answer right now, but certainly, within those 13 charges of murder in this latest period, we're still some 60 other officers awaiting trial for murder. I think there is a large number of police officers charged with murder in this singular police force, and we wrote about that last year. And the ideal platform, not in some nirvana world of idealism, but no police officer should be being charged with murder. And if there were one or two, I wouldn't use the word understandable, but it would be recognised. But to have that number being charged and authorised to be charged by the Director of Public Prosecutions is significant.
And the reason I'm asking is because I'm trying to get our listeners to understand whether Indicom has been able to definitively conclude or certainly bring an investigation to a conclusion that shows that there is an increase in police extrajudicial killings. Because I think that's, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's the problem, that if the force is excessive or unlawful, isn't that what Indicom is concerned about? Because surely you accept that the police can use lawful force to defend themselves and others.
Of course they can, and we would never say otherwise. But I think what we measure it as, and certainly look at it, is the other facts in the case and the evidence that we have, whether it's believed or not, do they make the shooting incident suspicious?
Yes.
In other words, is there other evidence which goes, well, you tell us that, but this is what we have. And I haven't got the numbers right in front of me, but there is an increase in the level of suspicious shootings.
Okay.
that doesn't then equate to any officer being charged, because obviously that's a long remove from substantive evidence which can be, challenged and tested in court.
Yeah.
So
but there's an increase in the contestation.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think this report shows that in terms of just over one third of this subset of fatal shootings is contested. So the fact that there's nearly 31% of in this subset of planned operations being contested, they're therefore being identified as suspicious shootings.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, the cameras, the CCTV cameras, you say the practice is unacceptable, and you say in some instances the cameras have captured the police destroying the equipment. You've brought this to the attention of the High Command, I understand, from the Commissioner. What has been the response? What's the explanation?
Well, the explanation, I don't know if there is a really clear explanation, because in fact officers certainly should not be removing, destroying or misplacing the video recorders and the equipment, which is what has happened in a number of these cases, and the equipment is found outside the premises or in a gully nearby. And in certain incidents which don't involve shooting events but searches of property or attempts to search, we can see the officers themselves damaging the property, the cameras rather. So what we're saying is it's almost a given. They shouldn't be doing that, but I understand that some officers have a concern that perhaps a lot of these cameras now record directly to an individual's mobile phone and goes into the cloud, so that we are informed that there's some concern that officers entering premises would be unsure of who is watching them right at the time they're conducting the search, and that maybe there'd be some other parties elsewhere then viewing the officers on their own mobile phone entering the property. That's one example which has been provided as to why there might be a reason. But even if that was the case, we would expect to be told about it, not have to hunt or discern whether that has been done by an officer or not.
I want to go back to something that we said earlier, because some might argue that the police, they're under increased threat, yeah, and criminals are emboldened, as was said earlier, and therefore acting more aggressively in the field is necessary. How does INDECOM balance the need for officers to be safe with accountability for excessive force? I wanted to explain that to our listeners.
Well, I'll give you some examples of how these criminals are dangerous. They are armed with M16 rifles and handguns and a whole, retinue of arsenal of guns. But how do police officers seek to control, in a forceful, non-aggressive, but sometimes it does require aggression in its proper sense, these prisoners? But we wrote in the report a number of scenarios, and we just illustrated 2 or 3 where officers are attending premises where the person is wanted for murder, assault. It matters not what it is, but he's wanted and can be arrested. But in the scenarios we are hearing, they are not being arrested. They are being allowed free rein of the room in which they're detained. And our report identifies a number of cases where, having been confronted, having submitted to the police domination, quite correctly, they are not controlled, and they are left in the same room as the police officers, who then conduct a search or move around. And it is then reported that the individual, free to move, recovers a gun from a drawer, under a towel, from some clothing, and then seeks to confront the 4 or 5 police officers in the room, and of course is then shot and killed in self-defense. That is a clear appreciation of what can be done differently. And we have said, too many of these cases, you need to handcuff, we raised this with the Commission, you need to handcuff these men immediately or use plastic cuffs, because it cannot be right that officers have placed themselves at risk of further danger of these dangerous men, and these are preventable deaths, these are avoidable, and the right to life extends an ongoing duty to both the police officer by police command and the citizen. And we give examples within the report of a prisoner wanted, not arrested, given his own keys to his own car to allegedly search the car because he's got some papers in there. And he leans into the car and produces a gun and is shot. Those sort of shootings and incidents should never, ever occur. And so they are dangerous criminals, which they are, then treat them as that. And once you've confronted them, they need to be controlled, not allowed free rein. And we illustrate them, but we all remember, just even as an example, tragically last year, which is illustrative of a man arrested at the halfway through court and just escorted across the road to the police station. And in that one moment, he was under arrest. He'd been detained. He took the gun from the police officer and killed the police officer and in turn killed himself. But we questioned that then. How was this prisoner just allowed to walk across the road? And then an argument ensued. And arrests are highly volatile situations, and arrests in Jamaica are even more volatile than many other countries with the plethora of weapons and guns these gunmen are using. Well, if that's the case, control, dominate, and secure, and thus prevent these men coming to a position where armed confrontation and death is almost inevitable. We've said this before. You point a gun at a police officer in Jamaica, you are almost certainly signing your own death warrant. Well, then police in their tactics and options need to ensure that doesn't ever happen, especially where the police have entered, the man is surrendered, and he then is left he's not under control. So we can keep repeating it, and I don't want to, but that is our concern in relation to suspects and custody and control. And we raised this last week also with the Commissioner of Police, and it was recognised and understood. So there needs to be a further reinforcement of training and tactics to prevent this sort of incident happening. And that would perhaps, what this report is about, is trying to find ways to reduce the number of fatalities. And in every which way we can try and do that. We can learn from that. Maybe there's some merit in doing this. That is what we seek. We don't seek confrontation or argument over the issue. We want to raise these up and see where things can be improved.
The Police High Command released about 2 statements over the last few weeks that, took a pretty strong posture that they would not be dictated to by civil society groups or by INDECOM. How would you characterize INDECOM's working relationship with the High Command?
Well, I'm always an optimist. It's professional. It's serious. But behind the scenes, beyond the headlines, there is daily interaction between the directors of complaint, the 5 directors of the Commission, with senior officers at superintendent level and DSP level for every shooting which takes place. There's ordinary interaction, engagement and support. And some of the teams here, our investigators, are engaged in sensitization programs. Well, that's only done with the full cooperation of the police, the divisional command. So underneath the noise, there is cooperation, and myself with the Deputy Commissioner, also an engagement and an ability to email, pick up the phone, and ask for things to be done or supported.
Yeah.
That's the operational, practical day-to-day which has been going on for years. Sometimes it can appear from our reports and a reaction, it's not going well, but as I say, we're not meant to be convenient. Parliament didn't introduce the Independent Commission of Investigations and its act to just do what? Be a paper pussycat? No, it's required us, and that's why the legislation was there to report on and to investigate and provide observations and recommendations to Parliament about their state security agents.
Yeah. Hamish Campbell is INDECOM's Assistant Commissioner. Thank you for your time as always. We really appreciate it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right.
All the best.
The headlines are next.
Cover Story was brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Save fast and accepted in more locations.
The hour was brought to you by the new Doritos Zinger from KFC. The delicious combination of KFC's hot and spicy Zinger and Doritos. Also available in barbecue Zinger, limited time only. KFC Doritos Zinger, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
3 minutes after 6.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Shalois Michael. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, is alarmed by the more than 500% increase in police killings during planned police operations over the last 5 years. Deputy Commissioner of INDECOM, Hamish Campbell, gave the update at a quarterly media briefing on Thursday.
In 2019, the number of persons killed during a planned operation was the lowest at 10 people, and in 2021, planned operation fatalities was just 9% of total fatalities when 11 men were killed. However, since 2022, as we have seen this marked and we consider a disquieting increase in fatal shootings occurring during a planned operation, and from a low of 11 persons fatally wounded in 2021, it reached in 2024 76 people killed, which represented a 591% increase in deaths from planned operations. This year, right up to the 30th September, 120 people have been now fatally wounded during planned operations, and the increase since 2021 with 11 amounts to 990% increase.
The Deputy Commissioner also raised concerns over the methods used by the police during these operations. He says they often result in conflicting accounts between witnesses and the police.
Officers' accounts are almost identical, and simply put, officers approached the property. Upon calling out, officers heard shuffling from inside a room. Upon directly entering the room or house, a man is apparently waiting inside a single room with a weapon drawn, which is either then pointed or reportedly fired at the officers. The citizen accusation, in some cases, is that a firearm was planted by the JCF. Where there are witnesses, they report that there was no weapon in the house, nor did the deceased produce or show any firearm prior to the police arrival. It is recognised that some witnesses may indeed be lying and their testimony quite incorrect, but without independent evidence, primarily body-worn cameras, it becomes very difficult to discern the truth of these accounts.
Meanwhile, there has been an increase in the removal and the destruction of private CCTV equipment from premises where a police fatal shooting occurred. Assistant Commissioner Campbell says CCTV interference as a practice in police operations became more noticeable since November last year.
The Commission has previously elevated this issue with the JCF High Command at the beginning of the year and now reports on the matter more formally in this report to Parliament. CCTV interference is a practice which has become more noticeable since a fatal shooting event in November 24, where significant CCTV evidence came to the fore during one of the Commission's investigations. In some planned operations, witness testimony has demonstrated quite clearly that CCTV equipment has been damaged, removed or destroyed, and evidence of prior existence and removal of the CCTV was established in 5 such cases, which occurred 2 in March and September 24 and 3 recently in January, June and September of this year.
Hamish Campbell, Assistant Commissioner of INDECOM. The police are once again appealing for the father of 13-year-old Shantina Sargent to turn himself in. Lawrence Sargent has not been seen since Shantina's partially burnt body was found behind her family home in Baillieston, Clarendon on Monday. Superintendent Kerry Duncan is head of the Manchester Police Division.
Our detectives are working assiduously to bring some level of closure to what is happening. And I want to speak this appeal to say that personal persons, anybody here are listening and can implore the young lady's father, Mr. Lawrence Sargent. He is somebody we believe can help us in advancing our investigation. So we're asking him just please to make contact with us at the Christiana Police Station or at the Mandeville Police Station.
Superintendent Duncan says the police are well advanced in their investigations, but he says more can be achieved with the help of Shantina's father.
The investigation is in a very, very early stage, although we have been gathering a lot of and depending heavily right now on forensic evidence and a lot of it, I might add. So not much more to say on that, but we are well advanced in our investigation, but it can take us a little bit further if we get to speak to our father.
Superintendent Kerry Duncan, head of the Manchester Police. 2 men believed to be suspects in the mass shooting in Linstead, St. Catherine on Sunday have been killed by the police. The men were cut down in separate incidents on Thursday. On Sunday, 5 people were murdered after armed men dressed in police attire approached a group of people at a shop in the community and opened gunfire. At least 4 others were injured in the mass shooting. Head of the Area 5 Police, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips, says more operations will be conducted as investigations continue.
I just want to say that the investigations into what took place in Commodore is ongoing and there are still information that I cannot divulge. But just to say that these 2 incidents are connected to that investigation, and we will have several other operations, with intent to try and arrest some of these persons who are involved in that gruesome and awful incident in Commodore.
He's urging the public to cooperate with the police.
I just want to appeal to the community, especially in the Linstead area. You might see increased police actions inside there, that we want to enlist continued support in that community, and it might affect several other communities within the St. Catherine space. But just rest assured that the JCF will continue its investigation, and we appeal for the continued support of the public during this time as we see justice for the victims.
ACP Christopher Phillips, head of the Area 5 Police. Claudette Thompson has been appointed Jamaica's new Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP. She becomes only the 2nd woman to hold the country's top prosecutorial post, succeeding Paula Llewellyn. Her appointment takes effect on October 13. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Shaloy Smichael. Sports is next.
Looking for superior quality transportation from an international award-winning provider? Well, look no further. Choose Island Car Rentals, Jamaica's leading car rental company, setting the standard for ground transportation in Jamaica. For over 50 years, Island Car Rentals has been your trusted partner for reliable, top-quality vehicles. But we're more than just a car rental company. Need an airport transfer at any hour? Heading out of town and want to travel in style with a private chauffeur? Need a truck to rent for business or personal use? Or maybe you need a customized shuttle or tour for a large or a small group. Whatever your transportation need, Island Car Rentals has you covered. Call us today at 876-926-8012 or 876-929-5875 or visit www.islandcarrentals.com to book your next trip. Because Island people take better care of you.
Doritos and KFC, cheesy delicious, crunchy, new collaboration run the country. Doritos Zinger, hot and spicy. Doritos nacho cheese chips, cheddar cheese sauce. We not leave it. KFC with the extra crunch. The new Doritos Zinger, I want for lunch. The new KFC Doritos Zinger, the delicious combination of KFC's hot and spicy zinger and the irresistible flavor of Doritos. Available for a limited time. KFC and Doritos, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Already have a T-Tag for your vehicle? Just top it up and go through. Now you can see funds in your T-Tag account almost immediately after topping up. So, if you're already on your journey, you can safely pull off the road and top up using the My T-Tag app or WhatsApp. Or ask a passenger to do it for you. And within 5 to 10 minutes, you can enjoy the lower toll rates and other benefits of the T-Tag link. Even if you forget to top up before you started your trip. Top up your T-Tag and continue to go through quicker and cheaper on Transjam highways.
Good evening with your sports report. I'm Alvix Swaby. We both things off with some cricket as the West Indies could make one change to the starting 11 for the second test against India in Delhi starting at 11 o'clock tonight Jamaica time. Left-arm pacer Jadea Blades is expected to come in for John Lane as the Caribbean men look to level the series following their crushing innings and 140-run defeat inside 3 days of the first test in Ahmedabad. India is poised to go in with an unchanged 11. The omen is good and bad in equal measure for the West Indies, as while India has not lost a test match in Delhi to any team in 38 years, the Windies were the last team to do it in November 1987. Captain Ruston Chase remains positive that the team will raise its level above what we saw in Ahmedabad. Chase remains optimistic about his team's chances heading into the decider.
It's on right now, but it has to change at some point. And the change can start from now, but it starts with the belief and the mindset of each and every player, and just to keep motivating the guys that we can still play some positive cricket and change around our downfall at the moment.
Chase is also calling on the top order batting to show more application and resilience, especially against India's potent pace attack and the crafty spinners.
Continuously playing quality first-class cricket and so on, just that know-how of going up there and facing good attacks for longer periods, and obviously trying to improve on faults that you may have picked up early on in your career. Obviously, when you first start, no one really knows you, and then obviously you play a couple of games, and then people obviously see your weaknesses and try to exploit them. So it's just for the players to just try to improve on those weaknesses from as early as possible.
Ruston Chase. Meanwhile, as the West Indies prepare to face India in the second test, veteran cricket commentator Joseph Reds Pereira has urged the regional side to make several key changes in a bid to bounce back from their crushing defeat in the first test. India currently lead the series 1-0 after an innings and 140-run hammering in the opener, and with the visitors' performance under heavy scrutiny, Pereira believes the time has come for bold decisions and a refreshed approach. Pereira, one of the Caribbean's most respected voices in cricket, called for both tactical and personnel changes to improve the team's chances against the informed Indian side.
Well, I want to suggest they consider two changes. Imlach coming into the middle order. He can keep, or hope to keep, the gloves. It will strengthen the middle order. Carey Pear will be left out, with Warwick playing as the main backup spinner along with Chase. And Phillip comes in for lane. This will give the batting more depth and the bowling more experience. Phillip has had a couple of test matches, and he has played on the English County Championship. If the West Indies win the toss, I hope they don't do as they did in the first innings, elected to bat on the opening day. Conditions will be cool, I'm told, and the batting condition indicating that it will be quite good.
Joseph Reds Pereira. Nadine de Klerk cracked a career best 84 not out as South Africa completed the fifth highest successful chase in Women's World Cup history to beat host India by 3 wickets on Thursday. De Klerk's whirlwind knock came off 53 balls with 8 fours and 5 sixes as the South Africans set 252 to win, reached the target with 7 balls to spare. Skipper Laura Woolvard weighed in with 70 and Chloe Tyrone 49 for the South Africans, who were winning their second game at the tournament. India's 251 all-out was built around a stunning 94 off 77 balls from Richa Goharsh.
Right, is this long and far enough? She's done it so many times tonight. Backs away from the stumps, and South Africa make it 3 out of 3 in Cricket World Cup matches against India. And this may well be one of their best chases against this team. De Klerk in that final partnership put on 39 runs out of the 41 runs in that last partnership.
The competition continues on Friday with Bangladesh meeting New Zealand, scheduled for 4:30 a.m. Jamaica time. Steve McLaren, head coach of the Reggae Boys, is under no illusion as the task awaiting the national team when they go into battle with Curacao for crucial World Cup qualifying points in Wilmstead in a day's time. Heading into Friday's crucial Group B FIFA World Cup qualification fixture, the Reggae Boys, across 4 games played against Curacao, has 2 wins, 1 drawn result, and a solitary defeat which came back in 2017. McLaren is expecting a tough game from Curacao, but he believes the squad will be composed and should handle business not only on Friday, but 4 days later when they face Bermuda in Kingston.
We're a very good team,
And to do that, we need your best players possible. But we've also added some younger players, younger talents. So the squad is a mixture, a bit more of a mixture than the last squad, more experience. But also we've got some young players who we want to blood into the national team. And whatever squad we pick, it's a strong squad.
McLaren explained that the coaching staff is pleased to have the exciting attacker Dujon Richards back into the squad following his lengthy layoff due to injury and surgery.
I followed Whisper since I got the job. I had an injury last season. We followed his progress during the summer off-season. We followed him and been in contact with Chelsea every week about his condition. He's been getting minutes. He played 90 minutes last week. And I think he's somebody who I've always wanted to have in the squad.
The Reggae Boys currently sit atop Group B with 2 wins from 2 games. Algeria are back at the FIFA World Cup finals for the first time since 2014. The North African country sealed their ticket to the game's showpiece on Thursday following a dominant 3-0 win over Somalia in their qualifying encounter. 5-time Premier League winner Riyad Mahrez scored twice for Algeria to become the 4th African country to book their place at the tournament to be hosted in the Americas.
Flicking it over the top, a chance for a header, that's the volley, they've taken the lead. Comes out Chaby, gets the ball over the top, and then far post, a chance for a shot, it's drilled in, a brilliant goal. There's the delivery, it's the header, it's goal number 3, of course it is, and it had to come from that man, Mohamed Amoura. Goal number 3, his second.
Uganda all but sealed second place in the group after seeing off Botswana 1-0. The 4 best second place teams across all 9 groups will enter a playoff to gain further spots. Meanwhile, in an international friendly on Thursday, England beat Wales 3-0 at Wembley. The Aston Villa pair of Morgan Rogers and Ollie Watkins and Arsenal's Bukayo Saka got the goals for England.
Gaze kept that alive, and it's Rogers, and England lead. It's a good ball which comes down for Rogers, it's back in again, and it's easy. England committing bodies forward, Saka with a chance, that might just be the best of the bunch.
Now, sprint icon Shelley Fraser-Pryce will be honoured by Althos, the premier all-women professional track and field series based in the United States. The tribute will take place during the second staging at the female-only event at Icon Stadium in New York City on Friday. This is part of Althos' mission to honour women who have shaped the sport both on and off the track. Fraser-Pryce, widely regarded as one of the greatest sprinters of all time, is being recognized not only for her remarkable athletic achievements, but also for the influence as a trailblazer for women in sports globally. The Pocket Rocket, who announced her retirement from the sport this week, closed off a glittering career that saw her winning silver in the women's 4x100 meters relay in her final race at the recently concluded World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Japan. Speaking on CBS Mornings, Alex Ohananian, founder of Althos New York, revealed that Fraser-Pryce is more than deserving of the award.
You know this name, you know this icon.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Something that was so important for us is not just having a special Tiffany crowning moment for Shelley Fraser-Pryce at our event, but also another GOAT, Serena Williams, is actually going to be the one doing the crowning. So it will be an iconic moment under the lights at Icon
from one GOAT to another,
and a game recognized game moment that feels spiritually very right.
Finally, in martial arts, Coach Jason Mackay is aiming high as he leads a 6-member Jamaican team to the International Sports Kickboxing Association's Amateur Members Association World Championships in Australia with the goal of securing a double-digit medal haul. The team, made up of seasoned and decorated martial artists, includes Akina Lindsay, Richard Stone, Nicholas Dussard, Adrian Moore, Nikolai Reed, and Sharik Bowen. Mackay says he expects each athlete to come away with 2 gold medals.
We have traditionally won 2 gold medals per athlete, both in the point and the continuous division. So we're expecting no less than that. We recognize that there are some inexperienced persons there, primary one being Bowen, but nevertheless we expect him to rise to the same standards of the other athletes who have been doing it for the last 10 years. There's also Adrian Moore, which is coming off of a very long sojourn without world competition. He took gold at the US Open in July, but now this is World, so we're expecting him to get double gold there also.
Jamaica has enjoyed a strong track record of the tournament and a competition that primarily features elite European talent. Mackay says Jamaican fighters have consistently risen to the occasion, carving out a reputation of technical skill and tenacity.
Jamaica has traditionally done better in terms of the best of any other team in terms of gold medals per entrant. Obviously, we don't have 200 people like England, but if we spend 10 people, we get 20 goals. That is the standard that we have set. From that rubric, we are the most successful team.
Jason Mackay. Joining Mackay on the coaching staff is Claude Chin. I'm Alex Raby, and that's your sports. And a special good evening to MS and all the YouTube family.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:23.
Looking for superior quality transportation from an international award-winning provider? Well, look no further. Choose Island Car Rentals, Jamaica's leading car rental company, setting the standard for ground transportation in Jamaica. For over 50 years, Island Car Rentals has been your trusted partner for reliable, top-quality vehicles. But we're more than just a car rental company. Need an airport transfer at any hour? Heading out of town and want to travel in style with a private chauffeur? Need a truck to rent for business or personal use? Or maybe you need a customized shuttle or tour for a large or a small group. Whatever your transportation need, Island Car Rentals has you covered. Call us today at 876-926-8012 or 876-929-5875 or visit www.islandcarrentals.com to book your next trip. Because Island people take better care of you.
Give your team a glow up at the 2025 Business and Personal Etiquette Conference on November 6th at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Procure the presence, polish, and professionalism to make your team unforgettable. Hosted by Make Your Mark Consultants in partnership with Caledonia Outdoor Advertising, Visual Tech Solutions, Nationwide 90 FM, Main Event, and more. Register now at makeyourmarkgroup.com or call 876-978-6001 for the Business and Personal Etiquette Conference.
Everybody needs a helping hand, somebody to understand. In the end, we're all human. For people living with HIV, no discrimination. Here to support them through. Respect you as usual. Got to protect them too. One of your friends or your family, somebody in your community. People living with HIV. Protect, accept, and respect people living with HIV. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robian Williams. It's a Thursday evening. I don't know about you, but I'm happy it's a Thursday. A special good evening to our friends over on our YouTube platform. Thank you so much for always tuning in. We like you, we love you, we appreciate you all. So let's get to it. Remember, you can weigh in live in the comment section on today's Public Opinion. So in times past, civil society groups were among the loudest voices holding leaders accountable and shaping national conversations. But lately, their silence has not gone unnoticed. So, in Public Opinion this evening, we're asking, given the recent quiet from civil society on major national issues, do you think they've taken a backseat really in public affairs? That's the question we're putting to you, members of the public. You've been analyzing, you've been watching, you've been listening. What do you make of the silence of civil society at this point in time? All right, so let's get to the comments on Facebook, where Vivian Hanchard is saying maybe they've come to the realization that talking doesn't solve problems. Action does. Marjorie Marjorie Young is saying they realized their mistake after September 3. Or, let me give you one of Cliff's. Or, Judith Thorpe is saying, I'm sure if anyone thinks that there is something for them to talk about and they are not talking about it, just call and solicit their views on the issues. Well, we've been doing. Dylan McDowell is saying, JLP win on September 3rd, have them all shook up and in mourning. They're now waiting on their political masters. Okay. Kevin O'Neill is saying they are choosing Jamaica, watching things unfold. Everything is good. For Carlington Bartley, he is saying that he honestly believes that we should remove these groups from the high esteem we hold them in and put them under the similar microscope we're cultured to have on politicians. Oh, okay. Arthur Neil Blair, campaigning done on election 1, so give them 4 years or so to get active again. Carlisle, no election is over. They lost their planning, their next move. Winston says yes, they have gone silent because they've become too political. Given the recent quiet from civil society on major national issues, do you think they've taken a back seat in public affairs? That's the question. I'm soon come over YouTube. Just keep on sending your responses and I'll get to them shortly. Back on Facebook, George Elliott is saying no, they are in denial and quietly bawling that JLP won the election. Ian Campbell saying to us they're just sitting and waiting on the PM to say something for them to crucify him. Shanice Comfort says nope, only if and when the JLP does something wrong. At the moment, it's the party with whom they are affiliated are calling for lawlessness. Wow. Lawlessness is okay, says Shanice Comfort, with them as long as it's their affiliated party breaking the law. Serious allegations there about breaking law and all. Ella Rita Mitchell says, whoa. They're the opposition's mouthpiece and sympathizers, parading themselves as civil society groups. The only time them find them voice is to criticize government security force. And she's saying we don't trust them. That's coming from Elorita Mitchell. Audley Nain says civil society groups only waiting for the PM and the government to do or say anything wrong. They are all waiting. They're all waiting with breathing breath. Well, the breath must be breathed. Okay, for just that one wrong move by the government to crucify them. According to Barking, shame I kill them. Daniel McFarlane says, nope. That just means the JLP administration is doing well and there's nothing to chastise them about. As for the PNP, they always give them a free ride. Prince Wellington says, yeah, them love who government put in the police force and them can neither do or say anything wrong in the eyes of civil society. On our YouTube platform, given the recent quiet from civil society on major national issues, do you think they've taken a backseat in public affairs? Let's see what's happening over there. Marlene P. says civil groups only take set on JLP. Reggaematic is saying when it comes to parliamentary proceedings, I reserve my opinion. All right. Okay. Donna Thompson saying civil society them party lose. Ken Ute is saying them only have belly for the Jamaica Labour Party. Let me see if I can get in a few more. Grace Ben says civil society is too biased and one-sided. Marjorie G said they only have strength for Andrew and his government. Marcia Keaton, they lose their plan mash up. Yeah. Alicia saying they only go after JLP politicians. All right. Greetings, Sharon Bless. Why am I glad at Thursday? Because tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, tomorrow is Friday. We love Fridays. Don't we? Don't we all love Fridays? One would think we would love the weekend to get a little break. Ken Ute Mulling said them only have belly. Okay, I read that one already. Marcia Keaton, yes. Okay. JLP wins, so them gone sleep, says Josephine. All right. General election gone, so campaign over. Don't want to hear them anyways, says Papa. And Psychos is saying they are political. Can't find any. Let to come. Okay, can't find any lies to come with. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for participating in Public Opinion. The Business Report is up next.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, industrial automation and control solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:32. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robian Williams. China has tightened its rules on the export of rare earths. Rare earths are the elements that are crucial to the manufacture of many high-tech products. New regulations announced by the country's Ministry of Commerce to safeguard national security formalize existing rules on processing technology and unauthorized overseas cooperation. China is also likely to block exports to foreign arms manufacturers and some semiconductor firms. Tesla is still being investigated by the U.S. government after reports the firm's self-driving cars had broken traffic laws, including driving on the wrong side of the road and not stopping for red lights. It said it was aware of 58 reports where the electric cars had committed such violations. That's according to a filing from a National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. An estimated 2.9 million cars equipped with full self-driving tech will fall under the investigation. And in the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 161 Jamaican dollars and 61 cents to buy $1, 215 Jamaican dollars and 80 cents to buy £1 British pound, and 116 Jamaican dollars and 6 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the Business Report. I'm Robian Williams. Good evening.
Spring into style with Unique Living. Upgrade your home with our extensive range of products. Get sleek shower panels, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, plus kitchen sinks, closet solutions, ceiling fans, and more. Available in various finishes and sizes. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10. Call 876-755-3661 or visit our website at www.uniquelivingja.com. Don't wait to spring into style with Unique Living.
MSME operators, the NWC MSME Amnesty is a lifeline. Grab it. Apply between September 1 and November 30, 2025. Visit nwcjamaica.com. Email us at customercare@nwc.com.jm. You can also visit any commercial office or dial 888-NWC. Get a 50% debt write-off on your small commercial account if you pay all other outstanding debts or sign a payment agreement to do so in 3 months. Apply today.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. You know, those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and 23% of them are overweight or obese. This can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Let's protect our children's right to health with a policy for schools that prevents unhealthy food marketing and ensures access to nutritious foods. The time is now. Let's implement the National School Nutrition Policy. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the Multi-Link logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my Multi-Link?
My Mega Mart, best value by far.
With so much to do in one location, make Mega Mart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs, grab a bite and pay some bills. Fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy. All in one amazing location. My Mega Mart, the best value by far.
My Mega Mart, best value by far.
Give your team a glow up at the 2025 Business and Personal Etiquette Conference on November 6th at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Procure the presence, polish, and professionalism to make your team unforgettable. Hosted by Make Your Mark Consultants in partnership with Caledonia Outdoor Advertising, Visual Tech Solutions, Nationwide 90 FM, Main Event, and more. Register now at makeyourmarkgroup.com or call 876-978-6001 for the Business and Personal Etiquette Conference.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
Are you ready for something mega? Come join us at Megamart Waterloo, 29 Upper Waterloo Road on Friday, October 10 from 3 to 5 p.m. We're bringing you the Mega Wheels 2 Grand Draw. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM with me, Robian and Pepita from 3 to 5 p.m. live from Megamart Waterloo. Come join amazing samplings from Megamart's co-sponsors while joining the celebration. The grand prize is a brand new 2025 Hyundai Tucson, and second and third place winners will enjoy monthly shopping sprees for a year. We're teaming up with Megamart to bring you non-stop excitement, surprise guests, giveaways, samplings, and all the Mega Wheels 2 energy. So don't just tune in. Come on, join in on the action live at Megamart Waterloo, Friday, October 10 from 3 to 5 p.m. It's the Mega Wheels 2 Grand Draw, only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Megamart, best value by far.
It's 6:39 and it's time for the nation's business. My name is Sanjay Lois. My co-host Ricardo Brooks will join us in just a minute. Minister of Labor and Social Security Pernell Charles Jr. says the ministry will be expanding training in assistive technology for persons with disabilities. He was speaking on Thursday at the ICT for Persons with Disabilities workshop held at the Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston. Minister Charles announced the program as part of the ministry's priorities for the next 12 to 24 months. He says for the remainder of the year and beyond, partnerships will be undertaken with internet service providers to integrate accessibility for persons with disabilities in their product designs. Nearly 15% of Jamaicans are living with some form of disability. Meanwhile, Minister Charles says his ministry will be working to ensure that persons with disabilities can enjoy trouble-free access to emergency alerts. He says the ministry will be launching a pilot program in some constituencies to test assistive technology. He joins us now. Good evening, Minister.
To you and to all of your listeners.
Thank you as always. So tell us some more about the plans of your ministry, Minister, to expand training in assistive technology, specifically for persons with disabilities.
Well, listen, the reality is that for us, digital inclusion is non-optional. It's about equity, it's about opportunity, it's about moving beyond simply internet access or providing a device to creating the integration of this thinking into how we design our sign-up processes, into how we think about just creating an environment where people who need support can get the support, regardless of the different disabilities, and about adaptive technologies being built in rather than being an addition or added on, right? And so what we're doing is through the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, driving the necessary training and stakeholder engagement to ensure that there's a movement beyond access. What we found is that access alone, without the skills, leads to dependency. So we are moving towards training that will allow for inclusion to become real. When the persons with disabilities have the tools and they have the confidence, they become independent. The training will be centered
on giving them real-life experience so that they have a better opportunity in terms of seeking jobs, in terms of doing their own banking, using government services. We see recently where NCB has partnered to make sure that the access to the ATM has been expanded, more dynamic, so that the blind and visually impaired customers can conduct transactions independently with audio instructions and tactile keypads. Those are some of the things that we're looking at, and how that becomes a reality is by NCB, for instance, training their staff, not just providing the device, but training their staff on disability awareness. And that's a proud example of what I think is a kind of partnership that we are encouraging, where innovation now moves towards that independence through private sector investment and private-public sector partnership.
Help me to understand, because you mentioned a 12 to 24 month rollout period. What are the key goals you hope to achieve within that timeline?
So what we're planning to do is we are looking on partnering with the telecom providers to integrate accessibility into the product design and the customer service. We're looking on partnering again around the national relay and sign language to introduce those things into our emergency services, to make sure that we have the right captioning and sign language interpretation being available for public broadcasts, newscasts, government streams, things that very often other persons take for granted. We're talking about partnership with OddsPen and emergency alerts to make sure that you have multimodal options, including text, audio, and visual. Again, things that persons take for granted, but persons with disabilities understand the importance of. Accessibility help desk, so having dedicated help desk that will be set up at the JCPD, also hosting regular clinics with engineers, so we can extend the training for persons to know how to resolve the technical barriers, and other things, simple things like raising the standards in terms of what we embed in the ICT policies across government, and I'd say finally conducting audits, because it's important for us to ensure that we have monitoring. So we are going to be working together to conduct audits on the high traffic government platforms to make sure that those platforms are used properly. They publish the timelines for fixing the gaps that they have, and that we can also help in terms of providing the quick training for the developers and the content teams to make sure that what we are publishing, those publications, are also incorporating the design for persons with disabilities, again, to be integrated and to have access. So it's a wide range of things, from skills to training, all about empowering persons with disabilities in what we define as the digital economy.
One of the things that you made mention of earlier, Minister, is the buy-in, for example, from NCB and some of the initiatives that they're doing. Many other companies may say it's a cost. It's a cost that they may not necessarily can do at this point. What is the ministry doing to encourage those businesses to come on board so that you can expand your program even more?
That is an excellent question. You know why? Because it also represents a misunderstanding.
Yes.
Many persons believe that digital inclusion for persons with disabilities is a charity. We're doing them a favor. Let me tell you something. As Jamaica moves towards productivity, we have no choice but to ensure that we extract the value from all of our citizens, including persons with disability. And so it means it's not a favor, it is a right for us to strengthen the productivity and the participation of all people in our national development. And so what NCB and I hope other private sector stakeholders will do is to see it as an investment in the empowerment and enabling of every Jamaican, regardless of their ability, to contribute to our national story. And so we want to use all opportunities, and I want to invite anybody listening now, all business, all educators, communities, organizations, NGOs, persons thinking about starting a business, join us in this mission, so that when we design for accessibility, we design for everyone, and we help to build a stronger, more resilient Jamaica. This is not just talk. This is something that has been proven across the world to be a significant element that contributes to the GDP. When you can find a way and the mechanisms for persons with disabilities to have the barriers removed, they are among the most significant contributors. And again, let's end where I started. It's not about a charity. It's about removing the barriers so the persons with disabilities who wish to contribute are empowered to do so.
Minister Charles Jr., good evening. Ricardo Brooks here.
Evening, Ricardo.
How would you assess the current level of integration and inclusion of persons living with disabilities in Jamaica into the society?
We have a far way to go. I think we're starting. We're at the stage, a fledgling stage of raising awareness and partnering with business so that it becomes the norm, but we have an extremely far way to go. The important thing is that as a government, this is one of our priorities, and it's a priority based on the fact that we have launched the iEnable campaign recently. We launched the iEnable My JCPD application, which has seen more than 500 downloads, new registrations for persons with disability. And so we are showing, not just through talk or through campaign, but through our actions and the results, that this government is serious about making sure that the digital transformation towards our development includes persons with disabilities. But I would never sit here and make it seem that all things are glorious. We have a far way to go, and also the effort must never stop. It has to be consistent, because as the innovation continues to evolve, we want Jamaica to be a place where we continue to find all means of introducing technology to make sure that we can level the playing field. Remember where I started. This is about equity and opportunity. That's why Jamaica wants to advance the digital agenda by ensuring that persons with disabilities have not only access, but the skills and the training to make that access be something that can lead to positive outcomes.
A partnership, Minister, that's very important. But are you also considering in any aspect of it legislation that would require or maybe incentivize businesses to remove certain barriers, whether physical, digital, so that persons with disabilities can have full access to their services?
Again, you're asking some good questions, right? But let me tell you this. The Disabilities Act already requires that. So the Disabilities Act 2022, which is now enacted and enforced, requires us to ensure that we create the enabling environment for persons with disabilities to have that kind of opportunity and to have the accessibility options. Public buildings, information systems, digital platforms must be accessible. So we have created the legal framework. What we're doing now is catching up. That is why you'd have remembered that last year I launched the accessibility checklist. Because we're not just putting out the legislation and expecting everybody to interpret and then to implement. We, as a government, are providing the support and the tools so that the private and the public sector will know how to implement the law. And so we have the accessibility checklist. We have the Disabilities Rights Tribunal, which is also established through that legislation, so that where persons with disabilities feel that they are, their rights are infringed, they have a portal, a mechanism to bring that before a tribunal that can see it and evaluate it in an independent way. And so all of those aspects are already in the legislation. It's now for us to just increase awareness, continue to provide the innovation, and to help the rest of the country to move on board.
And based on the checklist, Minister, what's the sense you're getting in terms of the take-up, especially in the private sector?
Of the accessibility checklist?
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't tell you of the take-up of that. What I can tell you is that we do have persons that have called, organizations have written in to ask for guidance, and we're actually working with the Jamaica Productivity Center as well, who are doing their productivity audits to make sure that as we look on those audits, we're also looking on the accessibility and the infrastructure that is being built out for persons with disabilities. I want to say this. It's not just about how you build. Right? Many times people think when we talk about the accessibility checklist, it means how you build your stairs.
Right.
Or no, it's more than that. It's about even the software, the operation, the procedure. And so it goes beyond that to the communication channels, the focal points that you have in your offices. And just to make sure that we are aware of what we are going to be, or what we need rather, to have in place so all Jamaicans can interact. So, for instance, if you have a business, do you have a designated staff member that is trained to be able to coordinate accessibility? Let's say somebody comes into your office and they're blind or visually impaired. Do you have somebody who has the sensibility and the awareness to be able to say to them, let me assist you, where you may not have the money to make the investment in terms of certain audio, visual, or other technology? All right, so we recognize that large investments may be needed, but we also know that even without those large fiscal investments, you can take certain steps and certain sensitization that will allow you to make the adjustments so your business is more accessible to all Jamaicans.
And that sounds like you're talking about culture change in a sense.
Exactly so.
Is your ministry prepared to lead that effort so that our people can stop thinking about persons living with disabilities as burdens and more as equal citizens in the society?
Culture change, mindset change, we are driving that for inclusion in Jamaica, and that is what the I Am Able campaign is all about. It's about changing attitudes, behaviors, language. I tell you something, when I became Minister of Labour, and maybe even now still sometimes, I've been guilty of using the insensitive vocabulary. And, the reality is that we all need to be made aware, because sometimes we may say things in Jamaica that we don't think much of, but times are changing.
Yes.
Where true inclusion now means you need to, through respect, ensure that you are aware of the vocabulary, of the infrastructure, of the software, of the environment that is necessary for all Jamaicans to really now be respected, valued, and have equal opportunity. So yes, culture change, attitude change, mindset change, all of this is very important. Let me say one last thing. This I Am Able campaign is not just about us adjusting for them, right? It's not about us, the majority, adjusting for the minority who are persons with disabilities. It's also about persons with disabilities inspiring a certain type of mindset for the majority of Jamaicans. And why do I say so? There are many persons who have no physical disability, no mental disability, no intellectual disability, and they themselves need to be inspired by the mantra that they are able. Because if they were to see what persons with disabilities are working with and the effort and determination that they have to achieve the outcomes based on their circumstances and despite their circumstances, then they would realize that with or without legislation, with or without any I Am Able campaign, they are fighting a good fight. It's many of us who need to be inspired. That's why we say the I Am Able campaign is for all Jamaicans. All of us need to get on board. All of us need to have this culture shift to make sure that we're sensitive, we are aware, and we're driving this public education campaign for the entire country.
Minister, that is important, that is necessary, but I want to put another thing in the mix. The enforcement. You're going to have businesses who are not following the legislation, but then you hear individuals say, there's a lack of enforcement because there's a shortage of manpower. How are you going to ensure that when you do all of those wonderful things, those who are not following, they can face the penalties that exist?
Well, that is why we have the Disabilities Rights Tribunal. That is why built into the legislation is the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, a statutory body that's responsible now for not just awareness, but ensuring that we are monitoring and enforcing. And that is why we have the power to settle complaints, do investigations, and to make sure that everyone is on board. Of course, you never want to move to enforcement immediately, which is why we are investing in a campaign to raise awareness and to educate and to increase the knowledge, so that before we start talking about, taking out the whip, we talk about spending the time and making investment to ensure that everyone is brought up to speed on how to get it right. So our focus, yes, we have the possibility and the enforcement is built in, but the focus is on this public education campaign first before we go to that measure.
Pernell Charles Jr. is the Minister of Labour and Social Security. Thank you so much for your time as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you. All the best.
All right. Talking to us there about expanding training in assistive technology for persons with disabilities. Yeah, very, very important work being done. We're going to take a break. Come back with more.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Marlon Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we are all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's Word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
Every time you a link with a condom, coulda Ozzy, coulda wife, coulda be a random. Do it for your best life.
The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is
7:01. Welcome back to Nationwide at 5. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And my name is Sanjay Lewis.
We're turning our attention now. Go ahead, Sanjay. Turn your attention. Go ahead.
To the Jamaica Alumni Association of High Schools, because they're staging their National Alumni Week 2025 under the theme Alumni in Action, Mentorship, Service, and School Spirit. The week of activities has been running since Sunday, October 5, and will end tomorrow, Friday, October 10. And it seeks to bring together alumni from schools across the island and the Jamaican diaspora to celebrate their heritage while giving back to their alma maters and communities.
That's right, and the week's events aims to highlight the important role alumni play in shaping the next generation through mentorship, service, and the preservation of school pride. To hear more, we're being joined by the president of the Jamaica Alumni Association of High Schools, Evan Thompson, and first vice president of the association, Joseph Small. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Sanjay and Ricardo. Wonderful to be on.
Thank you so much for joining us. Evan Thompson?
Yes, I'm very much here. Good evening to you.
Good evening. Let me start with you. How has the week been so far?
It has been wonderful. I mean, we could have done so much more, but the truth is we've seen a number of our high schools getting into the action. The alumni associations, they've been sharing the photos of their interaction with students during the course of National Alumni Day, which actually was celebrated yesterday. So, you know, there were a number of pictures that were being shared in our WhatsApp group and, you know, otherwise, just to show how people have been really getting involved. And we had another really special event that we celebrated yesterday, and it went very well because we launched a special program that we've been thinking about, and we're now on the road with it. We'll be on the road for the next 9 months with what we call Motivate Jamaica.
I didn't know, actually, that there was a Jamaica Alumni Association of High Schools. So let me start by asking you, Evan, and then to you, Joseph. You're alumnus, I hope I got that right, of which schools?
Well, I am from the Excelsior High School. That's where I graduated from. And so we have an alumni association there, the Excelsior Past Students Association. But this Jamaica Alumni Association of High Schools was actually started in 2017. So we're 8 years old. Okay. I wasn't there when it really first started. I wasn't involved, but then shortly afterwards I got involved. But Excelsior was involved from the beginning. And we have really been growing gradually. You know, we've been making a dent because there are a number of projects that we've taken on that actually builds the fellowship and the collaboration among past student associations, but at the same time it's having an impact in our schools and on the students themselves. You know, during the COVID pandemic, we had packages being delivered to many of the students from even the diaspora, you know, past students who are in the diaspora overseas. They also contributed. So we really have some good partnerships going, both overseas and locally.
And Joseph, you're an alumnus of where?
Yes, well, I am Joseph Small, president of the Dintil Past Students Association. So that's where I'm from, yes.
Okay, all right. So talk to me, Joseph, about some of the initiatives that the association has been staging to assist students who are now in school.
And is that the Dintil Past Student Association?
No, generally, the Alumni Association.
Okay, so the Alumni Associations are involved in various projects at different schools. So whether the project has to do with a social program or an infrastructure program or something to do with grant funding, scholarships and the like, those are matters that the association takes pride in helping with through generating funds through various means, whether we're going cap in hand to a corporate entity or to some past students locally or internationally. And they would generously try to give to assist in any particular project that we have been involved in and with to help our cohort of students.
And go ahead, Sanjay.
Yeah, and Evan, if I could just, I want to dial back because why is it that the association saw the need for this? Because you already have the challenges in the high school, you know, getting that support, and then now to have a national body is it even a greater challenge?
No, it's not actually, because, you know, many hands make work light or make light work, you know, because we know that there is a lot to be done in our high schools. All the individual alumni associations have been working very hard and doing a lot of things, but there is so much more that we can do when we bind our hands together and we work together. So there are the Jamaica Alumni Association of High Schools also is responsible for advocating on behalf of our alumni association. So sometimes when there are challenges that we're facing and we want a united voice to reach out to those who can really make a difference, this is the best place to do it, you know. So we believe that we must represent our members and we must also provide support for our members. So even in the schools that do not actually have alumni associations, we are prepared to assist with the development of these groups in our schools, and of course to help those that are struggling to find a way to pull themselves out and be a force to reckon with in their school communities and even on the school boards, because the alumni do have a place on the school boards of our high schools.
Yeah.
And if I could jump in and add, think about the fact that if a school does not have a past student association, and there is need for additional help to complement whatever government does for an institution. When you have a structured body, it's easier to get help. When you're unstructured, it's more difficult for one to particularly help through a batch or a year group or just an individual. But when you have a formal system where you are registered with the company's office and the charity's office and so on, it makes it more formal and easier as well as better to assist the cohorts that we are trying to assist.
And what has been the response to the association so far, whether in Jamaica or the diaspora at large?
If I could jump in before Evan.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
that's
go
ahead. I would say that.
Hold on, Evan. Let's he responds and then you can come in. So I'll allow Joseph and then Evan, you can also jump in.
Sure. So we have UJA and AJA who are in the North American space, working closely with JAS to help various schools. For example, Evan spoke earlier about care packages during the time of COVID, and there are several infrastructure projects. For example, in the southern part of the country, when damages came from, say, Beryl and others, then the international bodies in North America collaborates with JAS and gets resources to those institutions to help with those projects and assist the students. So I want to lead with that, and then I'll ask Evan to continue. Thank you.
Yes, we've been having a lot of positive responses from our schools. One of the things that they've been calling on us to do is to assist them with developing the kind of structure that they need to have in order to have an impact in the schools. So, we have had sessions that engage the company's office and with the organization that deals with charitable organizations, encouraging the group to become bodies that are able to provide the kind of support to the student body that they want to. But we've also had other sessions that we've all come together on. We've spoken to the situation of violence in our schools. We had some workshops relating to that, and a number of schools participated in that, a number of associations, where we had many of our stakeholders from the Ministry of Education, from the Jamaica Constabulary Force, from even the cadets were involved, and other groupings, that we believe could make a difference when it comes to addressing the issue of violence in our schools, because that has become such a topical thing. So there are many ways that we try to reach out to provide the kind of support. We had mentorship challenges that were being held in our general meeting. We had somebody who was speaking on how mentorship works in one of the high schools and helping the others to develop mentorship programs to also be big brothers and big sisters to the students who are actually now in the school.
Yeah. A final one to you, Joseph Small. Tomorrow being the final day of the week of celebrations. What's in store tomorrow?
Just before I tell you that, I ask permission to say that on Sunday, across the three counties of Jamaica, we had church services. So Cornwall, Middlesex, and Surrey. That's how we started the week. And it would be remiss of me not to say that.
Okay.
We additionally had on Wednesday morning alumni associations from various schools conducting devotions at their school and helping to inspire, to motivate, to share with their cohorts at the school. Now, tomorrow being the final day, we are encouraging all and sundry to wear something that represents their high school, whether it's an epaulette, a tie, the color clothing, some paraphernalia. So it's Rep Your School Day. And what a wonderful thing it would be to see a national movement where people can rep their schools and cause an aura to be created across Jamaica tomorrow in solidarity with our National Alumni Week. We're appealing to persons to do that. Thank you.
Boy, Joseph, I don't know if the Camperdown uniform can still fit me now. But
you could buy one or build one, right?
No, man, I didn't get the tie.
I'm gonna see the ties for only the girls who are tied.
Oh dear.
So,
well, I went to Manning's.
Maybe the crest. Maybe the crest. I think I still have my badges. My badges. All right.
And can we beg you half a minute to say
go ahead.
that we are going to have, out of the launch of the youth empowerment series, we're going to have 9 more sessions across the country. So in the next 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to be in St. James, where we'll have a number of high schools coming to go through the process. We're going to Manning's over in Westmoreland and
love that.
And attendant schools about a month later from that. And then we'll come to St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, come to St. Anne, then we go to St. Thomas, and we end with a big bang in Kingston and St. Andrew, where about 24 schools are expected to be participating. They are going to be doing vision board exercises, and something that some of us, when we heard it first time, we never believed it, and now we're adults, we understand what visioning is like.
Yeah.
Without vision, the people perish.
Indeed. Joseph Small is first vice president of the Jamaica Alumni Association of High Schools. You also have the president, Evan Thompson. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
We thank you so much for having us.
All right, have a good one. What's your best memory of having attended Manning's?
You know, Ricardo, sixth form. Sixth form is something that you aspire to attend because you're now prefects and you have talk. And they had this famous thing at Manning's where if you're a sixth former, you have a lot of things to do. You don't join a line at talk shop. And we used to cuss when we were in first or fifth form that the sixth formers, they skip the line.
Yes.
And I remember the first day, it's the first thing I tried. I was so happy. Yeah.
Your first interaction. First thing you did was to skip the line.
Oh God, I love it, man. but the general interaction though was good, and I think also for me, sixth form really prepared me for the world. To be very honest, in terms of leadership and some things, I got my early dose of it when I became deputy head boy at Manning's, and it was a wonderful experience. Yeah. Enjoyed it.
Bugs,
what about you?
Let me hear from Bugs. Favorite part of attending KC? And nobody tell me every year. Nobody tell me everything. Nobody do that. Just tell me one thing. Come in. Me no honesty.
Everything for
champs.
KC.
Book says champs. Champs. My favorite part of attending Camperdown. Everything. Camperdown is just the best school in Jamaica. I'm telling you.
Stop.
Books have been taking break. No, man. No, jokes aside. If I had to do it all over again, let me tell you, it's funny, Sanjay, because in my time, I'm actually old maybe, because I understand now the kids get must be 5 or 6 choices in PEP. We only had 3 choices in GSAT.
Oh, you know, I don't want to date myself.
Oh, wait, come on entrance here too.
Can we go to the break?
Come on entrance too. Well, we had 3 choices in GSAT, and I chose Camperdown, in this order: Camperdown, Excelsior, and St. George's College. Do you know why I chose Camperdown as the first choice?
Why?
I used to always see the students, and I was fascinated with how they got the crest onto the pocket.
Oh dear Jesus!
Myself, as a 12-year-old child, I need to figure out how them do that. Someone got a school there. Needless to say, you buy the shirt with the crest on it. I think so. Me never really figure out how them do it, but I figure it's some kind of printing press now at this point.
Ricardo, you said something though about GSAT and the choices. I'm trying to remember. My mother's listening. She probably can remind me. I think common entrance we only had 2 choices.
Yes, book says 2 choices now.
Yes. Manning's. I chose Manning's and Froome Technical at the time. And knowing very well that there was only one place I was going, and it was Manning's. So my mother made it very clear to me. Yeah.
No, I think I put St. George's College in there because, you know, my parents insisted that a Catholic school had to be among them.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to go to Camperdown to figure out how them put the crisp on the pocket. I found out, and I haven't regretted it. So, best 7 years of my life. It's 16 minutes after 7. We're going to take a break. After the break, it will be time for your call. 630-937-124, 618-8255.
As of June 1, Jamaica's minimum wage is now $16,000 per 40-hour workweek, up 158% from 2016, marking the highest minimum wage in the nation's history. We are building Jamaica.
The time by the office of the Prime Minister is...
Books, I should tell you that it's now 17 minutes after 7.
Home is closer than you think when you save towards your dream home with the Homeowners Savings Plan, or HOSP, from CIBC Caribbean. With HOSP, you unlock preferential interest rates to earn more interest on your savings and pay less with a discounted mortgage rate. You can even borrow up to an additional US $5,000 or its equivalent to help you with your closing costs. Get home faster when you save the HOSP way with CIBC.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, nationwide this morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide at 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Are you ready for something mega? Come join us at Megamart Waterloo, 29 Upper Waterloo Road on Friday, October 10 from 3 to 5 p.m. We're bringing you the Mega Wheels 2 Grand Draw. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM with me, Robian and Pepita from 3 to 5 p.m. live from Megamart Waterloo. Come join amazing samplings from Megamart's co-sponsors while joining the celebration. The grand prize is a brand new 2025 Hyundai Tucson, and second and third place winners will enjoy monthly shopping sprees for a year. We're teaming up with Megamart to bring you non-stop excitement, surprise guests, giveaways, samplings, and all the Mega Wheels 2 energy. So don't just tune in. Come on, join in on the action live at Megamart Waterloo, Friday, October 10 from 3 to 5 p.m. It's the Mega Wheels 2 Grand Draw, only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Megamart, best value by far.
Bud, good evening. You're up first.
Yeah, good evening. I have a few things I'd like to talk to you about. But first, let me say to your co-host that one with that common entrance is nothing to be embarrassed about. It's something to be proud of. I mean,
no. I'm not embarrassed at all. I just didn't want to date myself, so some people will find out, like Mr. Brooks.
Okay, well, I'm coming from the 50s, so you know what we're talking about here.
Yes.
Anyhow, my thing is that Ricardo had Papa Nana on last week, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But because I know I can't get through to y'all tomorrow, I decided to call this evening because I wanted to talk while Prof would be there. But Papa Nana was suggesting that if the policeman stop you with a light at the back of your car that was out, they shouldn't issue a ticket. And because I'm coming back from all the way from the 50s, I remember when you were issued a warning by the police if you were stopped with a broken light, and you had 5 days in order to fix it. And the way they did it was that if the police give you a warning, the warning would state that you have your vehicle fixed within 5 days and report to the closest police station. That means if you're from Montego, then you were stopped in Kingston, you'd have to drive back to Kingston in order to prove that it was fixed. And it sounded like a joke to both you and Prof because Papa Nana made the suggestion. However, recently I was in Jamaica and I was stopped on Oxford Road by a police officer. And I was wondering why they stopped me and how he pointed out that my brake light wasn't working. Now, I rented the car. I had no clue that it wasn't working, but I'm sure that it was working when I drove out because they had to shut the car off before you leave the station or wherever you leave from, the rent-a-car place. And the officer was really kind and very, very professional, you know. He pointed out to me that the brake light was not working and I needed to get it fixed as quickly as possible. So I didn't think that Papa Nana was outrageous for just making the suggestion. But just in case, I just wanted to call to say that. So thanks for listening to me.
No problem, but appreciate it. Michael, good evening.
Hi, good evening, sir. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
We're up in the Blue Mountain in the class. I'll say about you, man. Everything good?
Yeah, man.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. This is what I say with the education these days, you know. When the emperor come down here and build a school, give them name Selassie High School, and a couple years after that, Fidel Castro come down here and build Ocemalty High School. Up to now, you know, the both sided and get the place properly educated, man. Because even right now, enough school in Jamaica right now with them on 2 shifts, man. The children still get them full day at school, man. And the next thing to the lower payment of the teacher, them make the teacher them leave to the United States and take up next profession, you know. So they must step up the education business, because one time I come from, you know, the 90s, you know, I come through, you know. We say everything will be nice when 2020 come, but 2025 come it even worse. So I would like all school where they have on 2 shifts to change, sir.
All right, I think that's a fair call, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but the government's official policy, is to do that.
Mm-hmm. So they're to do it, Michael. But it's not something that can just happen overnight, because there are a number of things that they have to consider. How many new classrooms they may need, adjusting certain systems. But it's something that the government is actively doing.
The both of them are 60 years, you know. We should have nice here, you know, like children should even not pay school fee in the exam fee, because over 60 years, it should have been free education to all the youth that were born after 2000, you know. The both of them fail when it comes to education, man. And the next thing again, you know, the road from Guava Ridge to Flam City, extra bad, man. I wouldn't mind, I don't know who control if I rather Mrs. Suoni.
Michael, the last time we had this conversation, I remember Ricardo asking if you had spoken to the Member of Parliament, Juliet, about it, right? And he suggested that. So remember, it is important, and the advocacy on radio, we love that. But I now want you to try and find a number for the constituency office for Juliet Holness and have a conversation with them about it and hear if there are any plans in place. How about that? And then you come back now and tell us what they told you when you call the constituency office.
Well, I take your advice, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take your advice, brother. And the next one, the bridge of the Sincona Garden and thing, they will need that bridge. And the one was to go, add this gap and Agnes Gap and Penline Castle to the Blue Mountain Peak, you know. Mr. Warmington release some money there. And to go and almost drop material and go and start and carry a garden town, you know. And from that I don't hear nothing. You can have the rain season, so I would like to investigate it for me also.
So what I'm going to suggest to you now as it relates to the bridge, the National Works Agency, they're the oversight body. So you're going to look for the number for NAA, call them, and they can also provide you with an update, yeah? And then you come and tell us also. So we're expanding the advocacy now for you, Michael, and then you come back and tell us. How about that?
Yeah, man, I give thanks, man. I know say I have some more brethren want to say something, so I will take no more time, you know.
All right, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Have a good one.
Faithful, good evening.
Mr. Lewis, Mr. Brooks, good evening, sir.
How are you?
What do you do?
I'm very fine, thank you, sir. Let me start by saying congratulations and well wishes and God blessing and guidance, and I hope to Miss Thompson for being selected as the DPP, and I hope and just God blessing that she will fulfill her task for the benefit of Jamaicans. Right, Miss, tell me something. I always wonder the budget debate. Is it the pay program?
You mean when we carried?
Well, yeah.
No.
Oh, I think the license that you guys have, is it unique to your guys only?
I don't understand the question.
The license, I guess a part of your license that you should carry, but in the daytime, am I right?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I know we carry it as a public good.
Right, and your station alone knows that?
No. TVJ broadcasts it as well. TVJ does, yes. Yeah, they do, for sure.
As a radio?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I guess you're the only state I know that. And I know you guys do it at great expense. I always wonder about that.
At great expense?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
No, but during the time you carry, you could be carrying commercial and all these things, am I right?
I suppose. Yeah. Why? Where are you going with this?
No, I'm not going anymore. I always wonder during the time budget debate you carry it from start to finish in past 5 o'clock and to prime time. And I don't say that this and does that. And I know you guys do it at great expense. That's it.
Okay.
Next topic. I heard the opposition accuse you guys of in violation of the law by the report that went to the parliament with me with Mr. Tufton and all, let's say, including other media hours, say you guys are in violation of the law. You should not have reported before. You should not have announced about it before it came in the House of Parliament. Do you aware of that assertion?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, man.
I don't listen or watch any other media house, you know. So
it was not definitely media house. No, I think the PMP put out a statement pertaining to that, and that
I can't say I read those.
Say some friendly station like yours, and it cannot be leaked by and those that went to the Speaker and to the President of the Senate. And
they said all of that?
Yes.
Oh, I don't recall seeing that.
It can only be leaked by.
You're talking about the statement issued by Zuleika Jess?
Right.
Oh, no, I don't remember her. I don't remember her saying all of that.
Right, I read it on an extra decision now. So it could only be leaked by the President of the Senate, the Speaker of the House, the Senate and the Parliament, and to an extent to the Integrity Commission. And it reported that it had been leaked to your guide because of some friendly, because it's a friendly entity towards the government. So I was wondering if when you got a report in that term, if you have broken any rule or you was a violation or something. Because in my mind I was thinking that
so
it was
I just
not.
read the statement. The statement does not say that.
No, but I'm telling what I heard on radio also.
You heard what on radio? Somebody has accused the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate of leaking the information?
Right. Exact word.
Anyway, what's your point? The point is
that the report that's sent to the Parliament, it is supposed to be confidential until it will be read in the Parliament. And somehow you guys report on it, alluded to the fact that what was in the report was have to do with
Market Me.
Yes. And no other station was able to know that.
Yes, and therefore,
you guys receive it by means of, because you guys are friendly with me.
You're asking me if that is so, or
I'm telling what was alluded to.
Yes, and therefore I'm trying to get the point. You're telling me this why?
The point they were alluding that you guys
are
in violation.
And I'm saying therefore.
No, it's not. I am saying that.
Yeah, I heard you. You said they said it was a violation. What do you want me to do with that information?
I was wondering if it was a violation.
Of what?
Of the Integrity Act. Because they are saying that it's a violation of the Integrity Act because you're not supposed to report on it until it is stated in the House of Parliament.
Okay. All right.
So what is your
no, Faithful, you cannot.
Me don't understand what Faithful want me to say.
No,
you want me to tell you how we got the...
No,
because you're
I don't know. I want you to clarify what you want me to tell you.
I don't want.
So you're telling me that somebody said something?
One second. I am not asked to tell me your source of how you get it.
Okay.
What I'm asking,
and you're alleging and you're accepting from them that we have something.
I'm not accepting. I just want to find out. They alluded that you guys are in some form of violation.
Where did you hear this?
No, I don't want to call any other media entity, but I heard it on more than one media.
You can't expect me to comment on that then.
As they say that it was not supposed to report it on.
You keep repeating that. I hear you.
Right.
So what you want me to do now?
Do you think you guys are in violation by reporting?
I have absolutely no comment on that.
No, can't comment on.
You go and ask wherever you heard it to give you the information that they have that suggests that we're in violation. You also ask them if they've ever had anything leaked to them whatsoever at any time.
Well, I am sure that I heard that this lady that you saw Northwest. I heard they complained that the media house also that the Integrity Commission give to the cleaner then information that was not even the House of Parliament, and most media was not have a problem with that. So I was wondering how they have a problem with what your guy did, and they did not have a problem with that.
I don't know about the Gleaner sourcing. I don't know. Okay, I have no comment on that. Thank you, Faithful. All right. William.
Good evening, Mr. Brooks.
Good evening, William.
And
long time to hear from you. How are you?
Yeah, hey William. Long time to hear from you for real.
I'm here still, man. I'm still listening and giving thanks.
That's good.
Yeah, I heard you on Minister Charles earlier on pertaining to person with disability. And he said some good thing what I support him. But we may have some challenge now. When it comes to the senior person of disability, not much not going on for us.
What do you mean,
and
senior?
There may have some problem here with council, because the Disability Act, where they speak about all the while, up to now many of us do not know what in that act. This act don't read out to us as a this person that we can know we're right from we're wrong.
Hold on there, William. Because I didn't understand him to be saying that the initiative was age specific.
Repeat?
No, you're saying that nothing is being done for elderly people with disabilities, right? Is that what?
Yeah, man, you're much speaking about us.
Yeah, man, but I'm saying to you that... Yeah? No, but I'm saying to you that I didn't understand him to be saying that it was age specific. It's for all persons with disabilities.
So it was across the board based upon what you were saying?
Yeah, man. Yes, man.
We never pick it up.
Yeah, man. It's not for young people. It's not just for
the younger age.
No, man.
But anyway, we still have some concern, even with the office of council. because one of the main concerns, before they get agency, if you, as a blind person, and your find your cane mash up, and you go up, you forget a cane, they normally give you a letter same time. I go up by society because the cane have to pay for you get the cane. Now, since you be agency, I go up there to get the cane. A 5 working day before you can get it. And the cane is actually high. So what you do in that period of time?
Okay. So you think the time that you have to wait to get it is too long?
Right, and then now, if you now somebody to carry hope on them, because go up there to apply for the cane, you have to go back up again to get the letter, and then you have to live to go back up to society as a blind person. What the message you are sending? What the message are you sending? Also, I have a problem also with council with this thing. What role in play for us if you need to go to the public place like a hospital or the transport center and off it whatever? Sometimes you don't have nobody to go, you alone have to go. And you need somebody to assist you. When you go into the clinic, there no one is there to assist you. What is in the hack to see that us as a disabled person need to this and get you what you need to do? No care, nobody there to really assist you. And I don't hear counsel and nobody come out and speak about it. And this is a thing, not me alone, but many of us are disabled persons speak about this. If you take the bus, you've been abused, just like last Tuesday. I was abused by a young lady upon it when I asked for one of the front seat.
Have you been able to speak to the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities to see what are the things that they're putting in place to assist with issues like these that you have mentioned?
Mr. Lewis, this is one of the hardest place to get. I don't think them have a good phone line. Tell you the truth.
So you try calling and what? It just rings, no one answers?
Sometimes it rings, sometimes I don't know ring and no one answering. I don't know if them have a switchboard again. I don't know what happening up there. Nobody not say anything to the public. Right? And if you go up there, I doubt you can get even Centrics. As we speak to her, I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely a cause for concern in William, because if you have those issues as indicated, the Jamaica Council for Disabilities, they are the statutory government agency to deal with some of these issues. Yeah.
Exactly.
What about the different foundations? Are you a part of any of them that they know as a larger body can advocate on your behalf?
The Disability Foundation?
Well, there are a number of them. So have you any of them?
No, repeat what you said, because I don't get
No, but I'm saying there are a few, if my memory serves me correct, you have the Disabilities Foundation, and I think there's one other, which are the top ones. Are you a member of any that you have spoken to them to see if they can now make advocacy on your behalf to fix some of those issues?
Well, I speak to the manager of Society for the Blind pertaining to the cane. I don't know what come out of it because him don't get back to me pertaining to the 5-day thing. Many things we speak to this place, but I don't speak to CDA about it. They have another office named CDA Combined Disability.
Right.
I never, but they're supposed to know also about the issue, because sometimes the time I hear Miss Gaff talk about many of these issues myself talking about too. You know, see it. But there's some serious issue we have, we need to be addressed, and we're not hearing from Ms. Endrita, the director of Council for Persons with Disability. If you got that, you have some people got to apply for get some grant to do them one little business, and you wait until Jesus come, you cannot get through.
Yeah.
Well,
I know the minister and sometimes his assistants they listen. So I mean they are hearing your concerns, and I'm hoping that you can see some changes, because that's.
As we said, this is not the first thing we mention. This thing.
Yes.
But nothing has been done. Nobody care. We speak about the bus several times, right? Which matters when they are younger. Look for me and tell me, "So bright." So me ask for the seat. She look for me and say, "You could have brighty." We pay me money.
William, just before we go, one of the things that the minister indicated is that there is the need for public education so individuals can understand why some of those things are necessary. Yeah. So the culture has to change. Yeah. You agree with me on that one?
Yeah.
It has to start somewhere. But I feel your pain, William, and definitely whenever we have the minister on again, if I get that opportunity, I will definitely.
I wish to tell us it's not me alone, it's many of us, but because many of them don't come out and talk.
Yes.
Right? But there's some issue there need to be addressed.
All right. Thank you, William. Thanks for calling. All right. All the best.
Carl, good evening.
Evening, Ricardo. Evening, Sanjay.
Hey, Carl. How are you doing?
Yeah, comrades them was complaining this evening from 5 o'clock news that news media get the information from Integrity Commission.
Was that this evening? Didn't they release that statement on the 7th on Tuesday?
Yeah, that's what the comrade them say this evening. Anyone that me really call about.
Okay.
Sanjay, I want to ask your evening this evening.
Yes.
If you go back on something, it is no problem, not true?
If you retract the statement?
Right.
That's fine.
That's fine. All right. Former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson say, no white man must leave Jamaica again. And the PMP go back on that and have a white man lead the PMP at the moment. So if the Prime Minister go back on what Mr. Golding did do now, nothing should be wrong with that.
Oh boy. I don't know how you take one thing from that side and juxtapose it with what we discussed yesterday. Eh? To suit your narrative.
But what I'm trying to ask you now, Sanjay.
Yes.
It was wrong that time to have a white man lead.
But
I know that
before you even go there, I cannot recall. Hold on. Did PJ Patterson actually say those words about no white?
Yes, man. He said that man, we must never have a white man lead the country again. He said that.
I need to check because I'm not saying it's not correct tonight. I just don't recall that statement. Anyway, go ahead.
I know them go back and have one to lead them now. So if Mr. Holdings go back on what Mr. Golding did.
Mr. Golding is a Jamaican.
I'm not sure about that.
Carl, we put them at
the problem when we have with night when I hold up in birth certificate, somebody should take a picture. I mean, not trust me. Not when Mr. Golding said I can't believe it.
Oh,
so you not come to me with that, please. Anyhow, I heard a lawyer this man. I heard him more than one time now. On Nationwide, more than one morning now, talking about the doctor was losing job. And said the doctor information them was put out in the public. And it should not put out in the public. As a breach in constitutional rights. I have a problem with it. The problem with me have with it, if we breach in constitutional rights, him breach our constitutional rights also, because we did hire him in a public hospital.
Or do you think, though, that there are certain elements as it relates to human resources that should be kept confidential?
Confidential, yes. But he was hired by the taxpayer of Jamaica. Whatever happened to him, the taxpayer who will pay him when mountain time come must know what happened. You can't hide that information from the taxpayer. That's the problem we have with the lawyer. Twice now me him with it. Remember say no, when the doctor was getting the job, he get a contract. And is the taxpayer pay him a month in time. You know, so we're having serious problem into this country though. The taxpayer must pay the person them. But we don't enter anything happen. He must stay away from the taxpayer. So, they're not country then. The only country to pay the tax to pay them. He was working into a public hospital, no? Him not doing a private hospital like what does.
But Carl, that's not I don't think that's the point of all of this. The point is whether we should continue to bar public officials or civil servants or public servants from expressing their political views and political allegiance. I think that's the crux of the matter. Do you think we should continue to do that?
Yes, Ricardo.
Okay, tell me why.
Why? All right, Ricardo. Me and you know, say. All right, maybe you see me party in a power.
Yes.
I mean, I can use it, and I go say no. You know, expect me to say that. Can you imagine you go to a hospital, or me go to Maypen Hospital now, and the first thing as the doctor hears a call, and he knows he is a labor right then, and he hears a call come, and he look about one PMP. More job if he look about me, because I want to look about in party faithful.
Why you think so, though?
But hold on, but what should stop them from doing that now? What stops them from doing that now?
Yeah.
All right, what's stopping him from do that now? He won't be able to show up in color.
I'm not sure that follows.
It doesn't follow.
Because if there's somebody who wants to victimize you because you're a laborite, I don't know that preventing them from publicly saying they're a comrade will stop that.
They can probably leave in the charge room and go somewhere else to deal with another person.
Ricardo, never take you somewhere. When Portia Simpson beat back Andrew Holness, there was a transport authority man named Mr. Dawes at the transport authority. And somebody didn't want the job. He come out public. All the people in my transport authority to fight against the man. Yeah, and he did decide saying never move Sanjay. And the PMP invite him to Pegasus Hotel one Friday evening and hand him a letter. That was the end of it.
I will say, Carl, and you follow the politics, victimization is something that exists for a very long time, and it's getting better. Yeah? But I think that we have matured. Yeah? We're not where we're supposed to be, but we're slowly getting rid of the victimization, you know.
Well, let me give you one next week. Yeah, me not say no, but let me give you one next one. If God forbid September 3rd, PMP become office, then Strong wouldn't be at where he is today.
I'm not sure that would have been so easy to do.
They wouldn't say it would be so easy. It wouldn't be easy. But what them did come with, and what them that plan to come with, wouldn't stand up. And I heard this evening you're getting off call that people maybe want a call. And if your pops way run funny, you say, ask what happened to the PMP human rights them. All of them, some of them no wake up back all now yet. And them was embarrassed before September 3rd of some things that the PMP have done. So now the only one who finished need to work on is Jackson.
What do you mean by that?
And what we need by?
What do you mean by
Jackson,
work on? What do you mean by that?
Jackson is still carrying his PMP line.
What PMP line?
What PMP line? Listen me now, Ricardo.
Who may I ask you, what PMP line? You're accusing her of something. What PMP line?
Yes. Jackson, anything that the JLP did, Jackson have a problem with it. But when PMP was there, Jackson didn't have any problem with it. Jackson
you realize the Jamaica Labour Party has been in power for 15 years and Michael Jackson has not been head of JFJ for 15 years.
Well, it seems like he's there for about 35 years now.
Good evening, Carl.
All the best.
Papa Nana.
Good evening. How you do?
I am
good. How you do?
Not 15 years. Sorry, I think I said the JLP has been in power for 15 years. 10 years. How it walk on?
Me want to just tell you something. Did you know that the PNP ears don't hear what them mouth say? No.
Them ears don't hear what them mouth say. Why I say that?
No. Look at this now. The first time we hear of certain things from the ICs was Robinson, Campbell, and all those other people have it on them platform. And how election have to go call and how much man have to wear short pants, right? That was on what was going to table in the house before it is even tabled. And it did went like that one every time. Where did they get those information from?
I don't know.
Right, but you heard of it before, though.
Yes, I recall the comments about.
So how comes now? If you people even talk about something before a table, it is a problem to them? You see the way how they one-sided. Anyway, let me leave at that because the public judge them already. The public know who they is. All of those people where you hear talking on the PNP side, they are Eli. They are very lie. They are Eli. Anyway, when it comes to this gentleman now, William, I tell you, him improve a lot. He's the first William ever call and him not tell you say him see people they bus stop and 3 hours away at bus.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Listen to me, youngsters, listen to me.
No, I know it's true. I
listen to this program inside and outside.
Yes, I know it's true. Yes, he usually does complain about the length of weight.
I listened to Nation before it was wide. I listened to Nation before it was wide.
Hold on,
William have a history.
Yes, it's
Papa
true.
Nana, hold on.
William is the boss, what Michael is the coffee.
Yeah, right. But one thing though, before I forget, my producer just informed me that the ministry wants a number for William. So William, if you're listening, please call us back and give your number to our producer Dana so that we can pass your number over to the ministry. So that's some good stuff.
And let me tell you something. There is a good Samaritan from America who came out here and gave all of us cane and was looking for William and couldn't find him.
Mm-hmm.
They could not find him. You understand? A gentleman by the name of Mr. Powell. He went over there in search for William and could not find him. You understand?
Yes.
And every time William call on this radio station, William tell you how much people drop in a pot in a manhole. When he go a bus stop,
but Papa Nana, isn't that a good?
Isn't that blind, you know? And he says to some people faint.
Papa Nana.
And when he asks them, then say 3 hours them away from bus. What make William must be here? So you know what William a comrade?
No, Papa Nana.
William is advocating.
William is advocating on behalf of the disabled community, and that's good. Nobody really speaks up for them.
But
William, isn't he visually impaired?
No, sir.
Yes.
The whole is so much people jump in a patrol. In a manhole. I wouldn't mind if somebody could have given a chance to King call you, but William tell too much.
No, Papa Nana, no.
People did a paint and then say 3 hours them away. No good service with the book. Every time William come on the program, he's sick in his stomach.
No, Papa Nana.
But
hold on, no, Papa Nana, no, but hold on. Everyone, remember, everybody, they have their own circumstances. You may go somewhere and get a better treatment, and his experience may be different. Yeah? What is important now is that the ministry is asking for William's number so that they can reach out to William to address the issues that he identified. That's good. He's advocating, and now we're seeing the response.
You know, sir. Put away from
Papa Nana, behave yourself. Behave yourself.
Hello. You know, say put away from me father.
Papa Nana. Papa Nana. Papa Nana.
He's the only 2 Christian I know of.
Papa Nana, behave yourself. Behave yourself.
You people is the only 2 Christian that I know of. Goodbye.
God. My God. William, if you're listening still, please call back and give your number to the producer. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security would like to reach out to you. Hi, boy.
We play rough, you know.
My God.
We play very rough. My mother just said to me a while ago, boy, the comments, because she's reading the comments, the YouTube chat. I said nobody read them. Yeah? But they play rough. They play rough.
You know, I want to tell you something. There was a time my mother wanted to go into the comments to argue with people.
Mine too. And I tell her, when I just started, Ricardo, my mother wanted to go into the comments. I said, leave it.
Just don't read them. Don't read them.
It's a community by themselves.
Boy. Papa Nana, you need to behave yourself. William, you can call back. All right, that's all the time we have. Thanks to our producer. Thank you to Andrew Glenn Anderson. Thank you to all our callers, contributors, the YouTube community, and of course all of you listening out there in Radioland. Thank you so much for staying with us. My colleagues in the newsroom, thank you all so much. My name is Ricardo Brooks.
And my name is Sanjay Lewis, and I'm also bigging up the YouTubers. Have yourselves a wonderful evening.
Good evening.
As a parent,